discussing or promoting work covered by television, theatrical, or streaming contracts. The writers began picketing on May 2nd, and Hollywood actors joined in July. People are calling for wage increases, better residuals, and other protections to include ones from artificial intelligence.
And that is Fox's CB Cop. The Taliban detaining at least one American along with 17 others on charges of, quote, propagating and promoting Christianity. They raided the offices of a Swiss nonprofit in Afghanistan. That charity group says it has not been advised of the reason for the detention of its staff members. Reports say the detainees have been transferred to a location somewhere in Kabul. I'm Paul Stevens, and this is Fox News.
Get ready to experience the spirit of Cuba at Varro's second annual Purple Gala on Saturday, October 14th at the Tossie Ballroom at the Hotel Nico Guam. Dance the night away to irresistible rhythms and take a chance with raffle drawings with exciting prizes and a silent auction. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to support, stand up against abuse, and share in the magic of a night in Havana. For tickets, call 477-5552 or email purplegala.varro@gmail.com. Special thanks to our presenter, Addis Trust and Investment.
It's almost time to crown Guam's strongest man and woman as the 2023 Imas Met Good competition is just around the corner. The Guam Army National Guard presents the GSPN Strongman event Sunday, October 29th at EPAL Beach Park, 2 to 8 p.m. Elton Bautista and Brittany Pareto Wallace are back to defend their titles as Guam's strongest man and woman. Mark it down on your calendar, Sunday, October 29th at EPAL Beach Park. Be there. Also brought to you by your friends at The Point, Boss 104 and Star 101.
Lunch and dinner just got way more exciting at Chili's. They're dishing out their new and improved menu. Take a bite of the new crispy Buffalo Blue Crispers, tossed in Chili's signature buffalo sauce with a drizzle of house ranch, or enjoy the new Chipotle Fresh Mex Bowl, loaded with field greens, fajita rice, avocado, and more. There's so many new items on the Chili's menu, you have to come back to try them all. Chili's new menu is available for dine-in, takeout, or delivery via goodtogowedeliver.com. At Chili's, more life and great food happen here.
Your 7 o'clock local news is brought to you by AB Risk Solutions.
Half a day at 7:06. I'm Donna De Jesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Superior Court Judge Dana Gutierrez has recused herself from the Adequate Education Act case, citing a potential conflict of interest. Her sister is the principal of a GDOE school, although that school was not directly involved in the conflict that initiated the lawsuit. A new judge will need to be assigned in the lawsuit against GDOE officials. Until then, the possibility of resolution must wait. The two schools involved in the case are Agata Johnston and Ocean View Middle Schools. The lawsuit, filed by the parents of two students with special needs, states that the superintendent and the Guam Education Board failed to provide a certified teacher in the classroom of one student and failed to provide a safe and healthy environment for the other student. Meanwhile, FEMA is in the middle of a project to help Guam build resilience for the next big storm. In Phase 1, FEMA met with stakeholders from manufacturing, utility, transportation, construction, maritime, government, information technologies, and education sectors. Phase 2 will be an analysis of the information gathered and how it can be used. The project will also determine whether upgrades will require just FEMA resources or grants available from other federal agencies. Project lead Johanna Johnson says the assistance could also mean just providing input back to GovGuam and the private sector to help them help themselves. More news after this.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Public Health warns that September marks the start of flu season. The flu is a highly contagious viral disease that brings runny nose, coughs, sore throats, fevers, chills, and body aches, and it can be prevented.
So pretty much everything you've got.
I got the flu, dude. Health officials say getting vaccinated can help reduce chances of coming down with the flu, except I didn't have a fever or chills. I just have this cough and this runny nose. Anyway, a yearly flu vaccine is recommended for everyone ages 6 months and older. The same preventative measures used during the COVID-19 pandemic can also reduce the risk of the flu. Public Health Chief Medical Officer Dr. Bob Leon Guerrero previously reported that COVID-19 preventative measures played a role in a decrease in respiratory illnesses such as the flu popping up in 2020 through 2022. And monthly tourism arrivals on Guam have made a full recovery from Typhoon Mawar. GVB has recorded over 500,000 travelers that have visited Guam within the last 11 months. Around 50,000 visitors were landing on Guam each month until Mawar struck, and that number dropped to around 17,000 in June. But 67,000 summer arrivals were recorded at the end of August. GVB is looking forward to a potential loosening of travel restrictions from the Philippines as a possible way to boost visitor numbers. Congressman Jim Moylan has made it a goal to include the Philippines in the Guam CNMI visa waiver program, which would let travelers stay for up to 45 days without a visa. United Airlines is expected to open up a direct flight from Manila to Honolulu next month, which will ease up the pressure on seats between Guam and Manila, opening up the possibility for more visitors to Guam. And those are your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
All right, says scattered showers and thunderstorms falling on the roadways here this morning. Real Joe, you were outside. Was it raining?
No, it was cherry.
Mostly cloudy with a highs near 86 degrees. Light east, southeast winds becoming easterly up to about 9 miles an hour this morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms could be in the forecast tonight, as well as tomorrow, most of the day. Partly cloudy tonight. Mostly cloudy with lows around 79 degrees tomorrow. Partly sunny. Tomorrow night will be partly cloudy as well. Wednesday, they say just isolated showers under mostly sunny skies. Daytime highs over the next couple of days will be around 89 degrees, but feel like 92. That's the magic of the heat index. 40% chance of rain. I got sunrise this morning at 10 after 6. Some great shots from First Beach and over at Pirates Cove. Appreciate those and some pre-workout shots from beautiful Sarita Garin. I got sunset tonight. It's supposed to be at 6:20. Wow, 6:20. See, they're early, huh? All right, there it is. Hashtag tell the others. News and weather together right here on The Point.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and urgent care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
7:12 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show portions brought to you by APL. American President Lies. They're delivering the future. And speaking of delivery, you can get your online ordering at SubwayPacific.com delivered by Good to Go. We deliver. Now you can arrange for them to bring it right to you, or you can use that same website, SubwayPacific.com, so you can arrange a pickup at your convenience. It all works out, doesn't it? Give them a jingle. You got to refresh to be fresh at Subway.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Oh, what's the point? I love that. Nick Frolowski, growling from San Diego, writes in early this morning. He was something along the lines of, why stop with DOE? Put the whole damn government in receivership.
Oh, that's aggressive, bro.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah. How about that? Let me see. Who's online? I got Renee Amwan says, yay, I heard my name. Right on. Well, that's the way it works. Christine Oliver, Vince Duenas, Dave Eckert says he will check out the ball games.
Oh,
the softball games, the senior softball championships in Las Vegas. Team Guam is out there, and they'll get the, and he knows a thing or two about sports from when he did it around here. Dave, you might recognize some of the grandkids of the guys that you were calling games for back in the day. Valerie Cruz is there. Junka Mafna. It's nice to see Ed Borrow. And I said Keena McCausland is hanging out with us. What has she got here? Chamorro meetup October 21st at Lorenzi Park. She's sending that note out to Dave Eckert, but also a reason for her to be happy here today. Seahawks Seahawks over the Lions. Nail-biter 37-31 in that game. And just a note, I've got the rest of the scores coming up for the early games and the Friday and the Thursday night game. Tracy Perez Limtialco online. Good to see my GPA pal. Andy Turlai says, whoa, I'm out there every day looking for abused and neglected kids. I go solo with no survival training, dealing with possibly violent people or drugs. It's true. Juan Borja, Vivian Castro-Leon, Pat and Norma Jean Flores, Stephen Applegate, real guy.
Real dude?
Yep. Donna Mila Martinez. Wondering why didn't the lawyers at the DISID do the similar case? Looks like Nick Prolosky's in here. Bullheaded opinion. I appreciate this. The issue here with the panhandlers is that they stand in the center islands on the road. If they make a misstep and fall, I don't care how careful a driver you are, you can potentially hit them. And who's going to get blamed? You are. Even if you're driving within the limits and we're following all the rules of a careful driver, we would be held accountable for another person's carelessness. They're not supposed to be out there. That is not a pedestrian stand-up. It's not for skateboarding.
You got a point.
or bicycling. Get off the road. Why don't you? Let me see you. Ron and Cindy De La Rosa. Gina Marie Tenorio. Call is online. Rob Greeno. Harvey Egna. Tammy Post Office. Buenos Day to you. Marie Babauta Baldwin. Let me see. Cool here in Vancouver, she says. Good morning, Ray Gibson. Unks, Joe Cruz. Oh, this is from RJ. Miss Diane Minor.
Morning, RJ.
Joe Cruz, it says, is watching the thing. For those of you that were worried about YouTube, I don't know what it was, a glitch in the matrix or something like that, but it is online and working right now. MP Ogo was the first one to chime in on the. I'm sorry, Brennan Fausto is there. Let me see. Morning all. Did you really stop drinking coffee, Ray? How's it going? Curious.
Yeah. Don't do it, man.
Yeah. No. I did not.
Just say yes.
Okay, so I didn't drink coffee on Friday. On Saturday, I didn't drink coffee. Yesterday, I had a pouch of this Korean iced coffee.
Oh, thank God.
It's Americano. It comes in a little vinyl bag.
Did it kick your butt?
It was good.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was surprised. I thought that was really, really good. And I still had some of that the coffee drink, that energy drink that Marcus Fong brought over last week.
Oh, those are
those are super tasty. So that's kind of what I had over the weekend. And by this morning, I was like, I don't want to risk anything. So I made just a couple of cups of instant coffee, waiting out until Jerome's bag of Colombian is going to be coming in here. That's Colombian coffee. Those of you that are listening from the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
That, Ray.
No problem. Guys, if you're looking for something to do, I'm sure somewhere at one of the neglected beaches that we've got around here, there's a bunch of military-age CHICOM spies that are going to come in here. See, you remember when they had that exercise that was taking place? And they made a big deal about the multinational forces that they brought because there was a boat foundering in the sea, and they went out there and they made a big deal about this humanitarian rescue of all these guys.
Saved them.
And then I never heard anything about it after that. And I'm going, wait a minute, these guys need to be taken to some. They're not motorbike. They weren't out there as a fishing tournament or anything like that. They were people that had found their way, managed to get smuggled into the CNMI, and were looking for a way to get out from there to come over to Guam, because Guam is where all of the military is. And that's where they want to find out about everything that's going on. These are spies,
But
and
they're part of the community now, Ray. Like you said,
yes,
They're integrated, man. They're part of the Rotary Club and all the.
Yep. Hey, look who's on. Roxy Chang.
Good morning, Touré.
From Touré is online here this morning, and we say good morning to her and a reminder about Touré.
Yeah.
Cameras everywhere.
Absolutely.
Just
you
FYI,
mind your manners.
Cameras everywhere. Have you seen what they're doing with the deck out in the back?
They're doing a whole new one?
Dude.
They're making it fatter?
Yeah.
I
mean, it looks like it's going out a whole lot further than the original deck did.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's going to be fantastic. Maybe put a few more tables out there in the back and a bartender.
It's beautiful.
Starting at 10?
Yeah.
Just saying. Don't sell beer at 10 if you're going to give me that look when you do. I was looking on the YouTube side to find out if we got a winner on Friday for the VFW thing at the Post Canteen.
Yeah, no
information on
Hearts.
it. No information on the Queen of Hearts drawing, so you're going to have to get rich the old-fashioned way, and that is to do some kind of investments out there in the markets and see what's happening there. It's 7:19. We might as well move into that right now and find out where the markets ended up there Friday, our Saturday, S&P 500, and we're having a good day on our Friday. Doesn't look like it was sticky. They're off by 54 points in closing on Saturday. NASDAQ off 217 points. That 1.5, so yeah, that makes them the biggest loser. Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 288 points. FTSE is up by 38. I got the Nikkei picking up 364. Hang Seng picks up 134. That's nice. Where are we going? Shanghai next. They are down. The VIX is up by about a point. The DAX picked up 88 points. So what did I say? So the NASDAQ was the biggest loser for the weekend, led down by Moderna, Mercado Libre, Warner Brothers, CGen, and Fastenal Corporation. At the very bottom of the NASDAQ, SiriusXM Holdings, KLA, Dexcom, Lam Research, and Advanced Microsystems. Some of the commodities that we like to look at, starting with gold, $1,946.20. No major changes there. If you're buying West Texas crude today, right now, $90.70 for a barrel of all that. I do not have a current number for Tapas, and I have not gotten an opportunity to approximate what they say it's trading for in Australia. Last time I looked at it was over $100, maybe $101 for a barrel of Tapas. But I haven't seen the price of gas go up here.
Yeah.
I have not seen the price escalate past $5 and about 40 cents for a gallon of gasoline on Guam.
Hold on.
I was going to say, hold on to your horses. I did go put some gasoline in the car over the weekend and held my breath the entire time. Let me see here. If you're doing some traveling, go to Japan, 147.73 yen to the greenback, and despite that high number in exchange for the greenback, it looks like we're starting to see some recovery in the Japanese and South Korean markets, as reported by Donna D just a few minutes ago. If you're headed to the Philippines, 56.72 is what you're buying.
Not bad.
I'm thinking maybe I'll buy my pesos now and just hold on to them until I get to Manila for the Daryl Hall concert.
Get it in coins.
Daryl Hall, Todd Rundgren at MOA. Dude, I have 1 million coins. You know, can I just tell you the ultimate? I'm going to tell you the ultimate.
Every time you come back?
In temptation.
Here we go.
So they've got a 1 peso coin. I believe it's a 1 peso coin.
Yeah.
It's a 1 or a 10. And it's the same size as a quarter.
Less than a penny rate.
It's the same size as a quarter. And I'm looking at this every time I go to the post office. And I got one in my coffee, in my, in the bottle holder in the car. And I'm looking at the thing going, I wonder if they'd notice. I wonder if the lady'd notice. But I don't want to get her in trouble, when they're counting up the thing. And in exchange for 25 American dollars, I give them the equivalent of a dime, So I don't. But it's just the newspaper. So there's that in my head, and it's one of those things where you do enough shopping. It used to be like going to Japan years ago. You do enough shopping, and pretty soon your pockets are heavy. They're swole because of all of the coins that you've been given in change, and they're all these little tiny denominations. So it's not like you
throw
can
those in the vending machine, right?
Yeah,
Try to get rid of them.
I do. I try to buy as many San Mig lights as I could at the airport leaving Guam with all of my little coinies that I had left over from the trip. But anyway, possible. But where was I? Looking at numbers. The Philippines, last one, South Korean won, 1,329.41 in exchange for an American dollar if you are going to South Korea today. 7:22 in the morning, and might take a look while I have an opportunity to find out what happened in the world of football. Do we not have the regular NFL thing, or do we have to pay royalties for that? There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, it was the Eagles over the Vikings, 34-28 over the weekend. And as far as some of us are concerned, because we got Hannah as the cheerleader on that team, that is now a Guam-based team. They just don't know it yet. Nobody's told them yet. So they beat the Vikings. It was 34-28. I'm going to give you the scores from the early games today, starting with the Ravens and the Bengals. It was the Ravens 27 over the Bengals 24. That's a sad, and it's a good day for birds, right? Ravens beats the Bengals, and And the Seahawks, Birds, beat the Lions here, 37-31. Let me see here. The Colts and the Texans look like the Colts got that one 31-20. It's not been a good start for the Texans. I got the Buccaneers over the Bears here, 27-17. And the Chiefs beating the Jaguars 17-9. I pronounce it Falcons. I think they used another F word for them. They beat the Packers 25-24. Tight game there. I got the Bills over the Raiders. Nice. Another new, I want to say that's 2-0 for the Bills now, right? Bills over the Raiders 38-10. Titans beat the Chargers. Another squeaker here, 27-24. And the only game I've got in the late games. Wait a second. Do I have another final? No. This is the game that I'm keeping an eye on.
That's your team, Ray.
Jerry Roberts, the Rams have scored.
17-10.
Thank you very much. You're on it. You're on it.
He looks disappointed.
They're
they're ahead.
A couple of minutes into the second quarter here, and
The second quarter is almost over.
Is it okay? Minute? No. Okay, I'm reading it the wrong way. Minute and 10 seconds or so away from the end of the second quarter. So on the way to
surprised.
halftime.
So are the 49ers.
I bet. Whoa, wait, hold on. This is going to be like it was last week with you guys? Are you going to trounce us? Will there be any more points that the Rams are going to score? Or the 49ers going to be able to hold them back? We'll watch and see. Tomorrow's game, let me see, is going to be Browns and the Steelers. That one starts at 10:15. And for those of you that are curious, Carabao will open at 10 for festivities.
Yay.
Just FYI. 7:25. Jerry Roberts, how was the weekend?
Good.
I'm glad to hear that. Do we have a rollicking extra point here?
I don't think it's rollicking, but it's going to be thought-provoking. I'll say that.
That's good, because the only thing I got thought-provoking is it's the 18th of September already. And something like 98 days, right, between now and Christmas. Are we that close to it? Yeah, somebody's got to start the countdown.
It was the 18th of September, a date I'll always remember.
Jerry Roberts is in this morning, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jerry.
Some people are thinking about AI, artificial intelligence, video surveillance, and creating databases that catalog everything about our lives. You know it'll be here one day. And you know that there are people just itching to unleash all of this upon us. Would it bother you to know that it's actually available right now by the average company, by the average employer? It's coming next on The Extra Point.
Earn miles on everyday moments to help you plan for your next vacation with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Apply by October 31st, 2023, and if approved, you can earn 30,000 miles when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months. Plus, there's no expiration on the miles you've earned. Get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
I caught a video yesterday. Busy coffee shop in a city somewhere downtown. The AI is doing two things. One, with a camera, it tracks which customers sit in the shop the longest. If you're very busy and a few customers are sitting in there for hours to do their work or just to read, that leaves fewer seats for other people, and that might have an impact on your profits. Other systems use facial recognition to report whether a customer has previously been in the store or is new. Now, the second thing the AI is doing in the video is tracking every movement by workers behind the counter. You're probably not going to like where the conversation goes next. There are 4 young women working. Anna, Elena, Vika, and Olga. The camera follows every move they make and counts every drink they make. The boss watches or can watch via the internet. So I'm watching the screen, and it reads off that Anna had made 20 cups to that point. Elena had made 10. Vika had made 10. And Olga, she'd made only 3 cups. The video clearly shows Olga leaning up against the wall and the counter and overall sort of just cruising while the others carry the load. Now, you can imagine the boss deciding that Anna is an up-and-coming star and deserves a raise when he watches this video or if he's watching online live. Vika and Elena are earning the right amount for the effort they're putting out. And Olga, well, Olga needs to have a really good excuse for her low production or she needs to be fired. So are you okay with this technology where you work, if it was there? Maybe you think it's not going to be used by your employer because, well, it's got to be costly. I mean, this is expensive stuff, this AI, right? Well, that's a highly reasonable assumption to make. There's only one problem. It's wrong. Video surveillance software that can track how many cups of coffee you make or how many concrete blocks you lay or how many times you check on a patient in the emergency room or did you place an extra tomato slice in that sandwich can be subscribed to right now for a few $100s per month for the basic installs to a few thousand, depending on the features you want. In other words, it's affordable for most of our employers here in Guam. How many senior leaders do you think would go for it? Do you think that Guam and the rest of the U.S. would just get used to the idea of having every working minute available on the web and for you to be judged? Are you ready to be counseled about what someone feels you're feeling because of some emotion they pick up in the AI on your face? If your CEO or business owner announced today that such a system was being installed at your organization and that it was really for your own good, what would you say about that? Would you publicly protest the move? Would you stay? Would you go? Would you be here tomorrow as we look at more about AI and the huge changes coming to the workplace? And I got some examples tomorrow that will curl anything you want to get curled. That's coming up. Ouch. It's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today for 93.3 FM, The Ray Gibson Show, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
So I'm going to assume that this AI, as it tracks the employees and counts the number of things that they do, will be capable of spitting out some kind of report at the end of the day?
I don't know about that, but
otherwise, what's the point of doing it unless we're going to get some deep data out of it?
It has what it shows on screen.
Yeah.
It says Anna, 20 cups. Vika, 10 cups.
Right. No, I think I've seen the same video. So the question that I have is, at the end of the day, do I get a visual,
a spit out?
Yes,
some kind of a report.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe, probably.
I think that would be because maybe what's her name that only did one or two?
Olga.
Olga. Maybe Olga was just having a bad day. Maybe she is otherwise a fine producer.
She better have an answer.
Maybe she's got something like Donna's got, and she's got coughing all the time. You don't know from that one thing.
Well, here's the thing. It's nuanced. So I mean, you've got to look at it then. You have to know your employees still. But now this thing is installed in your workplace, and it is interpreting your movements. Everything you do is being tabulated. And not just the video, because you can always watch a video. But now it's interpreting it based upon data sets that are already there.
It's a heads-up display.
It's deciding about what you're doing and then spitting out that report, and the video would be the backup.
All right, so can like private people install this?
Absolutely.
I would like. No, I'm at. Can I like get this aimed at the cameras? Can we get this with the cameras over at say DMV at the Department of Revenue and Taxation?
Well, do you think the government of Guam would install such a system?
No. Do we really want to know? Do we really want to know?
Well, what would happen if they did?
We would be seeing, I suppose, maybe we'd be able to identify some star performers out over the course of time.
Yeah.
And maybe we'd be able to find the ones that spend a lot of time doing Sudokus and cruising on the internet and TikToking as opposed to...
And if you did find that, what would you do about it?
I'd be you take it to somebody in a supervisory capacity first, and I suppose at the end of all of this, maybe there's going to be an action that needs to get taken.
Well, that's a question I was pondering last night as I wrote this.
Very good.
And saying, do I want to put that in there and talk about that? Because, I mean, that would be the ultimate question. Once you have the data, once you know what it says, okay, and you have the video that you can look at, what are you going to do about it when the answers come back and indicate
they're
that there
unsatisfactory.
needs to be a conversation held. What are you going to do then?
Well, it's public money. Maybe one of these whistleblower groups. Maybe one of these, freedom of information fighters.
Well, here's
that are
where
out
we're
there.
going.
Mm-hmm.
Because this stuff is cheap.
Yep.
And it's available right now.
7:33 in the morning. Jerry Roberts is doing the extra point and doing the heavy lifting and heavy thinking for you on this particular one. What is the future going to bring? AI is here now. He's not talking about something that is in beta and they're going to be releasing it soon. It's out there and available now. 7:33 in the morning. Look at news and headlines now with Donna D. This one brought to you by BK. Have you tried the Royal Crispy Wraps? Come in a bunch of different flavors: honey, mustard, and classic. And because we're on Guam, even spicy. Get yours today at BK. You rule. Speaking of rulers, these guys, an incredible team of real estate professionals. That's Hoffaday Realty. Joe D., Saran, Libby, and Auntie Lolita. Join them at 588-4232. Yeah, maybe they're looking for another real estate professional. Maybe they're just looking for some company that they can do business with. Hoffaday Realty at gmail.com. Now with news and headers, here's Donna. Hoffa, what happened?
The gun stolen from a probation officer by 21-year-old Jason Soas, which was later used in a random shooting at the High Five logo shop in Mighty, was not court-issued. Still, AG Doug Moylan is investigating whether the officer violated any laws. He says there are laws in effect that require licensed gun owners to secure their weapons. And load shedding may continue this week. GPA says after Cabras 2 returned to service on Thursday, it recently tripped due to a possible boiler tube leak. The Macheche combustion turbine unit has returned to service, and repairs are ongoing to the Derrida combustion turbine unit. And Timunin contractor Superman Corp has been cited by OSHA for serious violations that endangered workers at a Manilao construction site. The company faces over $73,000 in fines for potentially deadly trench hazards at the Paradise Court subdivision project. OSHA says trench collapses are among the most serious dangers, and increased enforcement after 22 workers died in such incidents in the first 6 months of last year. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, thanks very much. 7:35 in the morning. Donna D is going to go and cough somewhere, and we will return, give you an idea of what's happening in traffic. And I'm looking at the map right now. It's ugly everywhere. Be right back.
Fall in love with something sweet at Haagen-Dazs. Weekday specials. Monday, purchase a banana crepe encounter and a parfait crunch for only $26. Tuesday, purchase a banana split and coffee affogato for only $23 and 20% off on all purchases for our senior citizen patrons, 55 years and older. Wednesday, $1 off on any Dazzler creations and $4 off on chocolate fondue sets. Available only at our GPO and Crown Plaza location. Haagen-Dazs, everyday made extraordinary.
People are saying the future looks uncertain.
Jobs, education, even our health.
Everything seems harder now.
They wonder if we're up to the challenges we're all facing.
We don't. We share in the proud history of our island and people.
We share the drive to serve and make life better for all of us.
We all share the will to overcome and succeed.
With part-time service in the Guam Army National Guard, you can share that too.
Join Guam's next greatest generation.
Contact us at 671-969-5967 or visit nationalguard.com/Guam to find out more.
Sponsored by the Guam Army National Guard and this station.
7:36, as I said, ugly traffic everywhere. You can see it on the screen if you're watching on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Rumble, and ThePOINT.gu. Traffic coming out of Jigo is slow right around the entrances to the villages, around Gazzanero area, Paris Acres. We can see some traffic moving, trying to move southbound from there. It opens up a little bit, but it closes up right just before you get around to Pau Pau. You will meet up with just a little bit of traffic coming off of Y Sang Song. You're probably going to see more off Leche Machete. Otherwise, intersection traffic fairly heavy at 1 and 3, 1 and 16, looking like it's going to run busy all the way to 8, 10, and 16. Might get a couple of breaks near Ocean Vista and Tammy's Post Office, but otherwise 8, 10, and 16 from around Super Happy Mart is meeting up with traffic coming off of Route 10. Also meeting up with traffic coming off of 8 onto Route 10. Don't see that too often, but we're getting a good look at it today. Southbound Route 8. From 8, 10, and 16 into Teads, running slow as well. Once you get past that, it's just dogging out at the usual spots until you get to the Teads intersection there. Looking at Route 4, yeah, ugly in the usual places up around the what does it cost you less? And then you make your way up to Sinahan and Orda, and you will see some delays there. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, Polaris Point, a little tiny bit busy there, but nothing major that's going to slow you down. Actually, looks like it's nice traffic getting into Big Navy in Sumai. Because they got a new admiral. He said, we got to get people into work faster. You can't just be lollygagging out by the gate all day, for heaven's sakes. We've got work to do. We got enemies. We got wars to fight, baby. All right, 7:38, Ray Gibson Show continues after these. For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs. BK's got a wrap just for you. It's our new BK Royal Crispy Wrap. Our new classic crispy chicken, all wrapped in a tortilla and royal sauce, lettuce, and tomato. Available in a spicy and honey mustard flavor and made just for you. Try all 3 wraps and top it off with our onion rings and a sweet or unsweetened brewed iced tea. Of course, like all good things, the BK wraps will only be available for a limited time. Now available at BK Tumon, Hagutnya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day at BK. You rule. Oh, yeah, you grumbly voice when I do that one. It's 7:39, the morning portions of the program being brought to you by the guys over at Beyond the Box. What's the big deal? Beats are the big deal. And I was, I saw the Beats poster that they've got there up on the internet, and I thought, these are pretty decent headphones here. And I was expecting it to have a rather big price, but it did not. Very, very low priced in consideration of what you can purchase other earbuds for. Definitely check it out today over at Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall. Ray Gibson Show also being brought to you by the team over at the Guam Power Authority, asking you to help them beat the peak. It's true. Power them up and join the charge with GPA. We all know that between 5 and 11, power demand is at its peak. Here's the exciting part. You've got the power to make a difference in helping avoid scheduled outages. By being mindful of your energy usage during these crucial hours, together we can help prevent these disruptive scheduled outages. Let's unite and conquer this challenge together. You can start by turning off your hot water heater between 5 and 11. Just use the hot water you already have in the tank. Give heavy appliances like ovens and dishwashers a break. Delay your laundry until the morning. Don't break a sweat. Got an air conditioner? Cool the house. It'll still get cool. The air will be dry. You will feel cooler. Might not have to set it any higher than about 78. Share your peak beating strategies with your neighbors, because if we work together as a community, we can help you get the lights on and avoid schedule outages, load shedding altogether. Stay connected with us on social media. Visit GuamPowerAuthority.com and help them beat the peak.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
19 away from 8 o'clock in the morning, moving through this Monday. And what an interesting Monday it is. Is anybody on Guam paying any attention to what's going on in China? I don't know. Yeah, I got a couple of stories here. Authorities foil attempts to illegally enter Guam. And this is a detailed story. You can find it in the Marianas Variety. They had an undercover agent and who recorded the conversation between him and this guy, Zhu, a.k.a. Tony.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was going to try to infiltrate Guam. We're all named Tony.
Tony the Crouching Tiger.
Tony Big Booty. I'm sorry. It's a reference to one of my old favorite movies from back in the day. I need your help to transport me and 2 friends to Guam. If you can meet the above requirements, I'm willing to pay $3,000 for the boat ticket each.
What's his number, Ray?
And additionally, pick up our friends in Rota or Saipan. Each of us will pay $500 for the fare. Ooh. If you would like to help us, we need to go to Rota to wait for you, but we have no friends in Rota, and we're not familiar with the environment of Rota. We need you to find a friend who will pick us up at Rota Airport, wait for you to pick us up at the place you designate until boarding your ship. You can also find a reliable friend in Saipan to go to Rota with us to wait for you. If possible, we need you to choose a remote and uninhabited coast in Guam for us to go ashore. Don't let DHS see us. This saves you and your friends trouble, and we don't want the media to report on our affairs. We don't want the media to report on our affairs so as to avoid becoming a well-known news event, because after we successfully arrive in Guam, we will choose an appropriate time to register with the Department of Homeland Security. After we successfully arrive in Guam, we will choose an appropriate time to register with the Department of Homeland Security.
Take your time.
The specific date and time of our coming to Guam is up to you to decide. We'll cooperate with you. We just need to tell us one day in advance if you can successfully help us reach Guam smoothly. We still have many friends in Saipan who need your help, and they all need to go to Guam to find a job. In this way, you will definitely get a lot of, quote, joy in the future.
Wink, wink.
I think that means money. In a monitored and electronically recorded in-person meeting, Zhu told the undercover agent that 12 people now, 10 males, 2 females, wanted to be transported to Guam by boat, and they would be willing to pay $3,000 apiece.
That's
Unbelievable.
a lot of money, man.
That is, yeah. And, well, like I said, the itinerary, not the itinerary, but the numbers went up. We've got a number of males. And I'm going to say that they're all military age, but there are some old farts in here, 33, 50, 59,
you watch it now.
40. I'm looking to see who's the youngest, 33 so far. There's Guan Huipin Shang, 40, female.
Oh, that's different.
Still dateable.
Yeah.
Right? Jipin Gao, 43, female. And then we got another female here, 50, Hong Mei Din. So, I don't know.
Made in Hong Kong?
Yeah, must be. I don't know. A couple of 51-year-old males, right? Thanks, Joe.
Was some young guy there?
I don't know. So we got that story, and if that's not alarming, here's another one. Westerman deeply concerned about Chinese nationals illegally entering Guam from the CNMI. I've been to Saipan. Why do they need to leave? It's nice there.
It's better.
It's better. Yeah, they might not have as many jobs there as they want to, but some of these people are closing in on retirement age. I don't know why they need to do all of that stuff. A couple of other interesting stories. Chinese hacker group targets power grid. It's not their first time. A similar attack was aimed at India in recent years, and such attacks have been warned against in the U.S., particularly against its territory of Guam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hospital attack? Was that who was that done by? Was it done by, some kid out there in the world somewhere, or was it APT 41? Conducting those attacks on telecom systems that we've got around here. But to be fair, the governor was reached out to by someone. I'm trying to remember the name of the newspaper that they wanted to get some time with the governor, and she actually had some, I thought, lucid comments on she didn't just wing the answers. I think they were all printed, but I think maybe they gave her a bunch of questions and then she filled in the answers or had somebody fill them in. But like I said, they were somewhat lucid and I think addressed concerns that we all should have about the Chinese mounting some kind of incursion foray into Taiwan that might have implications here on Guam. I don't see how that would be avoided. At 7:46, is that my mayor?
Guardian of the shores of Petey, Ray.
Pica's best mayor is Mayor Jess Alec from the beautiful village of Petey. And I got to ask, it's going to be another one of those questions about the big cleanup program. I did have Army Corps of Engineer people in the studio on Friday for a little bit, giving me a list of all of the villages that they are done with. That was followed up by a note from Jenna over at the JIC telling people, if you put any more crap out after we visited your village, you are now littering and you're going to get fined. And I thought about my favorite mayor that's not my actual mayor, because my actual mayor is Paco. But I got a clean village.
It's about time. I think that should have been out since before the program started.
You think, huh? I'm pretty sure we mentioned it. I'm pretty sure it came up in our conversations of what happens when everything gets cleaned up. And I don't see anything in here about DPW following up behind them. The guys did mention that there was something like that in a plan.
Correct.
But I don't know to what degree DPW is going to be able to go in and get everything.
Exactly. I'm telling you, nobody knows what's going on. I don't know what you're talking about, your lucid comments, but maybe those lucid comments can be provided for the trash pickup.
Well, the lucid comments were on something other than getting our trash picked up. So again, the conversation is if you need to stop putting crap out there that's not going to get picked up after these guys leave your villages, or you will get fined. But it doesn't say who's going to do the fining.
Correct.
Mayor Jess Alec is the only mayor on Guam that's ever seen the inside of the book, the ticket book.
And I reached out to the AG and a response. because I want to know, can I issue a citation out of my jurisdiction, out of my municipality, right? Because if my neighbor is not going to issue the citation and I'm traveling to Ray Gibson's show, I might as well give the citation while I'm on the road, right?
Mine as well.
Mine as well, but guess what? I can't.
But I don't understand that, because you're vested that authority as a peace officer.
Correct,
Is that
correct.
peace officer only good while you're in the village?
Apparently, that's what the law says. I mean, I didn't go further into it with the AG, but I know that I did receive the response that it's within our jurisdiction. So obviously, that's within our municipality. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's plain English. Could it be? Was there another point of view to that? Could it be changed? I don't know how that's going to work. And the other thing is, why not issue the citation and let's fight it in court, right? Let's go see how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's no sweat off my back, because, shoot, Judge Sheeson, he loves me.
Well, but you know, you a lot of interesting points here, and all of these. And I've told the story about my neighbor who actually had actual destruction to the leaning, lean-to out in the back. You know, just some 2x4s and some tin. So he puts it out on the side along with some debris from the tree that knocked down his lean-to in the back. So he had all of the stuff that he was supposed to have: construction debris. And destruction debris, as well as green waste. And he had all of that crap out there for, I don't know, a day, and then all of a sudden, new stuff keeps popping up. And I'm pretty sure he didn't have 4 washing machines and 2 deep freezes.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many appliances everybody has these days.
Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe not then. But it was pretty clear to me that the dump had been augmented and added to. Hell, I'm thinking about augmenting and adding to it.
For sure. Why not? I mean, heck, everyone's doing it, and there's still no resolution. I mean, that press release that came out. Okay, big deal. You're going to be who's going to buy the citation, because not too many of my colleagues will. I don't know what their reasons are. I mean, it's not that difficult. You do have to read a little bit.
Well, I can tell you what it is right now. Is how are you going to prosecute this? So you've got all this trash that's now lined up in front of my neighbor's house, and you cite my neighbor, and he's going to say none of that is mine. The green waste is mine. The tin and the 2x4s are mine. But all of the other stuff, I'm not going to be responsible for all the other stuff.
In front of their house. If you take that photo in front of their house, man, there's how do you not claim that, right? I mean, so at least it's everything that we have to do. I mean, if we take the photo, if you see the person in front of that pile, I'll take the photo. I mean, you know, it's the approach, right? Gosh, I don't know how else to say it. Other than that, if it's not the mayor, then shoot, it needs to be somebody else, like EPA.
Yeah, EP who? When? What? EPA? What? They have one here?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, you know, Guam is good. We're great.
Tell you what, outpouring of love for Guam and the environment over the weekend. Coastal cleanup that took place. I was down in Pago because a bunch of friends were going to be down there. Did you have a bunch of people trying to clean up the shoreline in front of the village?
Yeah, we did. You know, the USO area all the way to Fisheye. So there was a bunch of people that did that. But you know, we keep that fairly clean, so there's not too much junk there. It's that whole Emerald Valley area. I'm sure you know it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey man, it's like, I don't know. I mean, Port Police passes that every day, and people still trash it.
Which sucks, you know, that whole place there, that old beautiful crystal clear river streamy thing that we've got out there that you're not supposed to swim in is actually pretty good for swimming. It's also deceptive because the water's so clear there, you can't really make out how deep it is. I've jumped into there from the bridge many a time and look forward to doing it every single time. Wait until the patrol passes and then jump. And then get your pictures. But very, very cool place. You know, I'm saying thank you so much for bringing up the old Hoover Park area, USO. Guam History in Pictures has got some photos of the old USO from back in the day, back when Benny was still doing the lifeguarding and they had the raft out in the middle. Just an absolutely spectacular thing, and everybody in the world coming through.
Of the raft.
Yeah.
Is there? Oh, okay. I've been looking for a photo of the raft because we're hoping for good things to happen with that USO, and I wanted to get I haven't found a photo of that raft. I think everyone that's been there remembers that raft. I mean, if you didn't learn to swim from that raft, then you needed the raft to stay alive.
Yeah. Somewhere until somebody comes along with those old wooden kickboards that we used to have back in those days. But great cheeseburgers, great fries, great memories of going to day camp there virtually every summer. And every summer you got advanced life-saving skills or swimming little cards and buttons that they gave you. And you tell a 7-year-old kid they'll do anything for a pin and a card. 7:55 in the morning. So we got that. One quick note here: we've got the mayor's council meetings coming up this couple of days here. My Uncle Robert's going to be coming by, and I'm not sure what he's going to be talking about. Do you know whether it's tip of the spear stuff, or is this going to be what villages we're going to rename? Are we going to rename Petey to Petey?
It's not tip of the spear. It's Commission Missing some more stuff. Yeah.
So we're going to rename Petey to Petey?
Yeah, we're just going to confuse everybody even more. Sure. No problem. What else is new?
How do you really feel about that one, my brother? That's funny.
Somebody needs a job.
All right. Well, you know what? What is fun is a couple of people have been posting some old maps of Guam going back to the first part of the last century and even into the middle of the century before. And it is amazing to me how many place names that we have today that we've had literally since then. That area has always been called Cabras, apparently. Anyway, fun stuff. 7:55. Listen, I'm going to let you... Go ahead.
I do have to say, though, that understanding those place names is a good one because there's so many... there are so many names out there that we don't know of, and, our grandparents used them. And, I mean, if we're not going to use them, at least to understand them or know where they're at, right? So I do appreciate that part for sure.
Gotcha. Well, have a good time with Uncle at the meeting. 7:55. Maybe I'll call you Thursday and get a debrief. Have a great day. Pica's best mayor, Jess Alley. Always a pleasure talking to you. I got a note from Mark Mendiola over the weekend, and he sent me a thing that said, "Hey, looks like we might be out from under the third-party fiduciary agent." Got him on the line right now for a couple of reasons. Number one, because he brought me the information first. Number two, Mark Mendiola worked tirelessly with John Fernandez when he was the head of the Ed Board. Numerous trips back and forth to Washington, D.C. in the midst of COVID, trying to make the point that we were beyond, I think, the need for a third-party fiduciary agent. And since you have no longer been on the Ed Board, it looks like that work continues.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning, Ray. Yeah, it's great news for GDOE. At least we got this win, right? We were able to remove. It was announced on Friday. They sent out Christine Jackson, who's been to Guam many years. This is a long time in coming. I spent 5 years of my life traveling back and forth to D.C.
Yeah.
At one point in time, the board was not involved in any of this stuff. And I said, hey, wait a minute, man. This is local money that should be going into the classrooms for our kids. Now, John and I traveled over there, and we were able to, I guess what they say, pull the trigger, right, and ask them to reconsider it. And it was a long journey. But on Friday, Christine Jackson, who has been with this since the beginning, said that, we're no longer going to have a third party. We're still under high risk, but in about a couple of months, I think we're going to be able to pull ourselves out completely. But what that equates to, Ray, is basically about, when I first started, it was like almost $5 million that we were pulling out of our local appropriations to pay the third-party fiduciary agent, and we brought it down before I left about maybe $1.5 million. So now that's no longer going to be in the books. At the end of October, their contract ends, they're closing up, they're packing up, and they're leaving. So that's good news for the Department of Education. It just goes to show Frank Cooperner's, Talent Tycoon was also involved in this. We have the internal controls. Our audits have been very good. We've caught some stuff. We took care of it. We matured, so to speak. So we're just grateful for them recognizing that, GDOE, at least has cleaned up its act since many, many years. And so Yeah, the project I worked on when I was on the board, Peter Atta appointed me as the chairman of the Budget and Finance, and I had no clue as to what third party means. I said, what party? Where's the party? It wasn't a party.
Yeah, it was an expensive party, and we were still reeling from having a receiver appointed over us for solid waste, and it just felt like there was another example of our inability to manage things, and needing at this point somebody to come in and look over our shoulder for a significant amount of money to make sure that we were living within the requirements and the rules set out by the Department of Education. That's the Federal Department of Education, but it's a long story that. It's interesting in the front page of the newspaper. You don't realize that it's been 20 years until you look and see the dates. And yeah, it's been 20 years since all of this started. And prior to that, we were talking about a Department of Education that was unauditable. Period.
Right. Yep. And that's they didn't have any books, but I gotta say though, the folks that carried it through the line, Dr. Mary Okada, it was great working with her, and of course Ms. Marie Gutierrez, who was chair and vice chair of the board. They just kept at it after I left, and they brought it home. So there's still a little bit more. Actually, there is more work to do, but I think the department is up to it. What that basically means to the people of Guam is that we're going to have access to the federal money, is about $70 to $80 million, in consolidated grant that goes to helping out. Direct support.
So maybe we might be able to make up some of that money that we lost over all of the years paying a third-party fiduciary agent. I thought that was the most painful resolution that they could possibly mete out to us. It's just about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to be late for Fox News because I need to get a couple of questions out to you, and I'm sure you hear them likewise. We're looking at a completely different appearance of a Department of Education in 2023 than we were while you were the chairman of the Ed Board working with John Fernandez. What was it that you guys were doing? What magic did you have? Did you sprinkle over the Department of Education so it looked like everything was going great? Because I tell you what, it feels like the whole DOE is circling the drain right now.
Yeah, it's a big sitting at this site. I'm still the current president of the Agada Johnson PTO, and trust me, I'm well aware of some of the issues going on in the schools. But I got to say this, Ray, we passed the facilities master plan. There should be no surprises to anybody. I mean, this was a top-to-bottom approach in terms of what the schools were going through. But this is the first time in the history of DOE where we actually have federal money behind it. I think to the tune of about maybe $100 million.
Well, who's supposed to obligate that money? Because I don't know that they are able to do that. And all I keep hearing about is now we don't have the bandwidth to conduct the procurement.
Yeah, and that's the challenge that we've always had. Part of the things that we mentioned to our federal partners is that we're trying to build a robust internal mechanism so that we're able to expend these funds. I think that the real challenge is, number one, is supply chain issues too. We're also dealing with. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be procured off island, and the ones that are currently here. So we're competing with other school districts, right?
Of course.
But I think the big key that we have to kind of just remember is that we have these plans that are actually we pass it as a board, and it's even tied to the superintendent's evaluation. When John and I were working together, I basically said to the superintendent, I said, I don't want to step on any landmines. So before it becomes a problem, please let me know.
Yeah.
And let's go work at it every day. And so, I never meddled in the affairs of the operations side of the house, but when it did come up our way, we put it in the superintendent's plate. And so I really just think the management at the Department of Education, there was a lot of, changeover. We had 2 acting superintendents, and then now we have a permanent superintendent. So, and then the other thing, too, I think that folks have to remember, and it's that, we had that baseline with the facilities master plan. We knew all the problems before the storm, and then what happened after the storm. You should compare those 2 things and say, okay, this is what FEMA should cover, and then this is what we know to be a problem. And a lot of it is like this, in terms of Agada Johnson is the plumbing issue. And I've been going to the board. I've been asking the superintendent to please focus on Agada Johnson and look at what's going on now. We're ending up in court because of some of the issues that's faced there.
Well, that's where things are headed, at least for special needs students. You got Dan Summerfleck, and he's got a clearly righteous case. I mean, it's so righteous that Doug Moylan comes out with his memo, his trial memo, and it looks like he is saying exactly what a mediator would say, and pretty much what I suppose the judge is going to find a little bit later on. These are some of the things that they've got to get to work on. just after 8 o'clock in the morning. Mark, I wish I had more time on this. Maybe we'll schedule a little bit more and see if we can get kind of a top down, at least from the rear view, of a former head of the Ed Board.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Ray, you are always there with us since day one. You've always invited us to talk to the people of Guam about, this high risk third party and man, getting out to our community and letting them know. But it was a great day.
Inches away.
It was announced. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Inches away from it. I'll talk to you pretty soon. It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll join Fox News in progress.
White House officials are on the ground in Detroit helping with negotiations, but Sean Fain hasn't said how involved he wants the White House to be or if he even wants the White House involved at all. But the UAW has welcomed with open arms other Democratic lawmakers coming to walk the picket lines with workers. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell in her home state of Michigan, hugging picketing workers.
13,000 of the 146,000 workers across 3 companies are on strike, making life complicated for automakers' operations while also limiting the drain on the union's $825 million strike fund. Well, some tough Philadelphia streets got tougher over the weekend. Fox's Ann Carrick explains.
Reckless drivers shut down a busy intersection in South Philadelphia to perform dangerous illegal stunts, according to police. Residents say it's a growing concern with so-called street takeovers in the city of brotherly love. Cell phone footage captured the moment a group of cars were performing donuts close to spectators early Saturday morning at the intersection of Broad Street and Washington Avenue. Pedestrians can be seen running to dodge the circling vehicles. Ann Carrick, Fox News.
Philadelphia police have so far not announced any arrests. I'm Jane Fergus. This is Fox News.
Chances are you've got some questions right now. Well, here's a couple answers. Lysol disinfectant sprays and Lysol disinfecting wipes together can be used on over 100 surfaces and kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. It even kills the COVID-19 virus. These are simple facts backed up by science. Lysol is suitable to protect your kids and pets. USA's #1, now protecting your homes. Lysol, what it takes to protect. Shop today at your Guam Kmart store.
No matter how you fold it or flip it, you can't beat the great deals waiting at GTA. Come in and see the all-new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 with its cool 7.6-inch screen reimagined to bring you cinematic viewing, improved productivity, and gaming like never before. Join the flip side with the phone that's tiny, trendy, and totally flex-worthy. Check out the Galaxy Z Flip 5, and in cool colors too, like graphite, mint, and lavender. And now you can trade in and trade up. Terms and conditions apply. Offer good while supplies last. GTA, we start with you.
Lunch and dinner just got way more exciting at Chili's. They're dishing out their new and improved menu. Take a bite of the new crispy buffalo blue crispers, tossed in Chili's signature buffalo sauce with a drizzle of house ranch, or enjoy the new Chipotle Fresh Mex bowl, loaded with field greens, fajita rice, avocado, and more. There's so many new items on the Chili's menu, you have to come back to try them all. Chili's new menu is available for dine-in, takeout, or delivery via goodtogowedeliver.com. At Chili's, more life and great food happen here.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Off today, it's 8:06. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. GPD and Thrifty Car Rental Management are seeking the community's help in tracking down who's responsible for stealing hundreds of dollars in solar lights in broad daylight on Sunday, just after the business closed for the day. Surveillance footage shows the thief ripping the solar lights right off the small business's building along Airport Road and then returning for the remaining solar lights when the sun went down. A screenshot of the video is available on KUAM.com. Anyone who recognizes the suspect is asked to contact GPD at 475-8615. Meanwhile, residents can weigh in this week on legislation that would reduce service learning hours for high school students impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, taxing sugary drinks, and stand up a government-run lottery. Bills to suspend BPTs on food and medicine, increase the number of senators to 21, and make the Guam Education Board responsible for the school system's budgeting are also up for public hearing. Bill 109 on service learning hours and Bill 117 on the Ed Board will be heard at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, September 20. Bill 118 on taxing sugary drinks and Bill 145 on a lottery commission will be heard at 8:30 on Thursday, September 21. And Bill 4 on suspending BPTs on food and medicine and Bill 157 on increasing the number of senators will be heard at 9 o'clock on Friday, September 22. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The Ukadu Power Plant project, which was initially scheduled to be up and running by April 2024, has been stalled due to damage caused by Typhoon Mawar. As a result, GPA will have to extend the operation of its aging power plants for 3 more years to maintain grid stability when customer energy demand exceeds total energy capacity. GPA implements load shedding lasting up to 1 hour on a daily basis. GPA operates renewable energy sources to supplement power production from the grid. However, due to weather conditions, these energy sources produce limited capacity. Cabra spaceload units are about 48 years old, and the PD units are about 24 years old. And Kaha will be hosting events in celebration of October as Arts and Humanities Month, starting with a proclamation signing and exhibit opening on Friday, October 6th at 6:30 at the DNA building. Kaha will also be hosting a month-long exhibit and 2 outreach programs with GPO on October 14 and the Agana Shopping Center on October 29. The mission of Kaha is to encourage and promote the artistic practice of our artisans and create opportunities for Guam residents to learn, experience, express, and appreciate art and artistic talent in all its forms. And those are your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Okay, get around to it. Send me 10 after, 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, cough, cough.
Thank you. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, lozenges, mostly cloudy with highs near 86 degrees with a heat index. It'll feel like 92 light east southeast winds becoming easterly 5 to 9 miles an hour later in the morning. For this afternoon and this evening, that says scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies and overnight lows. Should be 79 degrees, east southeast winds 3 to 6 miles an hour. I've not yet got any word about any police activities on the roadways today. But I did I get a thing from airport police? I think I did, right? That they were going to be doing airport police enforcement on the Maga Gaga Highway.
You can't park here. Go around again one more time.
Yes. You can go around 20 times. Well, that's what they've got that cell phone parking lot.
Man. Just park.
They have a cell phone parking lot. Did you know that?
Use the
You
parking.
didn't know that? Oh my God, Donnie, how did you?
Where?
It's a couple of years now. So
Well, I haven't been there for...
just in COVID, it's not like you're picking people up all the time.
No.
So there's a cell phone lot, and that is airport code for you park here, and when your party gets out of the airport, then they call you up and say, okay, I'm outside now. You can come and pick me up. That way, you don't have to get in the line with the taxi cabs, and then you don't have to get Atan Baba by the cop.
Where's that? That's different from the thing, right?
You don't
have
you're coming out of Teedzin. You're coming out of Teedzin. Try to imagine this. And then you get to the end. There used to be a stop sign there. They took that out. Let me just say that again. There used to be a stop sign there, but they took it out.
They took it out, or the typhoon blew it away?
No, they took it out.
They took it out? Okay.
And you can see, because they painted over where it said stop on the road, too. So you can make that left turn and then go down to the intersection. Or you can go straight and go to the airport, like employee and airline employee parking lot. Or you go all the way to the right. And there's a staging area for taxis and cell phone parking. But here's the problem, among many problems.
Wait, you don't have to pay for that parking?
You don't have to pay.
Okay.
There's no paying. I used to do it anyway. There's a rent-a-car company down on the other side of the street, and I used to just park there. But the creepy kind of yard guys would come over and want to talk. But anyway, so you've got that. But as I said, there's a problem with that, and I'm not sure why. But there are parts of the airport that are no good for cell communication.
Oh, and it happens to be there where you're parked?
Like right there. Like right there. I mean, first of all, your phone's been somewhere else for the last 2 weeks, and you're just coming back from vacation, and you come back and you restart the thing, and all of a sudden it can't find like the nearest whatever, and you find yourself. And the worst part of it is like the last trip when I come in from Philippines, I did not fit. In fact, they didn't even give me a form to fill out on the airplane because there's a QR code that you point your phone at, and then you fill out the form, the customs form, online while you're waiting for your bags.
That's better because we had like the biggest customs form.
But it doesn't help if there's no internet there. And what I finally had to do was I went up and I asked the guy, I said, I'm sorry, man, I don't have a internet to download the thing. And he just kind of rolled his eyes, reached over, got a blank, and put in just the minimal information that was required so that I could legally turn the thing in. Can I just ask you to sign, Mr. Gibson? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gibson. Okay. Have a nice morning, Mr. Gibson. Yeah, thanks. Glad you're home. All right. So where was I? I was doing stuff.
The phone parking.
All right. Tuesday. Did I finish the weather forecast? Might as well, huh? For tomorrow, partly sunny with highs near 86 degrees. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low 79 degrees. Isolated showers and mostly sunny skies with highs near 89 degrees. That is going to take place, let me see, on Wednesday. Again, with the heat index, 92 is what they're looking at this morning. 40% chance of rain. Sunrise at 6:10. Earlier sunset than normal, kids. It's coming down earlier, and it will come down earlier faster. I'm saying 6:20 now. Next week, it might be 6:15, 6:10, something like that. So your days are going to feel like they're getting a little bit shorter here. That's it. News and weather together, 8:15. You're listening to The Point.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Spicy up your life as Circle K introduces the Fire Pow Shoe Pow. Has the same pillowy soft bun with tender, flavorful chicken or pork, but this time it's infused with twice the spice and everything nice. So, drive to the nearest Circle K and satisfy your craving for fiery flavor with the Fire Pow Shoe Pow. You can find it at all Circle K locations, but don't wait too long. It'll only be available for a limited time. Circle K. Take it easy. Take it easy. Hey, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL. I almost feel like I need to bite my lip when I say it like that. APL. They're delivering the future. Also being brought to you by NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. Always got something fantastic to crow about. And they want me to continue to do that low-key Ray Gibson brag on the incredible Nissan Frontier. I got the one that's on a 4x4 platform and absolutely love it. You get a lot more confidence driving on Guam's wet roads when you've got something you can literally feel the grip of the road on. It really is a fantastic experience. I got to tell you, the technology on the inside of this thing, just an absolute beast. Nissan been building cars and trucks for nearly 90 years, and they have yet to build one that Guam can completely devour. Same with the Frontier. Built Guam ready. 310 horses under the hood. The Frontier takes on a variety of terrain and conditions that the island throws at it. Asphalt, sand, mud, turf, panhandlers, rains, potholes. These guys, no problem. Frontier dusts the competition with best in-class standard horsepower and standard torque. Safety features you will not find in any other mid-size truck. Intelligent forward collision warning. Available intelligent all-around view monitor and rear automatic braking. It automatically broke for me the other day. I was backing up and it saw the cicada. It saw some sword grass and said stop, and it actually hits the brake for you. And then you can decide whether you want to go or not. And since I knew it was just swordgrass behind it, I went through I went for it, bro. I just, I said to hell with it. I'm just bang, pedal to the metal all the way. Check it out, NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I've been looking on Twitter this morning. Wanted to see if there was anything going on right now that I might be missing. And among the things that is going on right now that I might be missing is what's the latest with Russell Brand? What is the latest with Russell Brand?
That's my guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's too much our guy. So I've been following Russell Brand, right around with the old COVID thing. NBC News now reporting Russell Brand's management agency terminates all professional ties to the actor and comedian after sexual assault allegations were published on Saturday.
They're coming after him.
There it is.
There it is, man.
You know what? The guy spoke way too much truth on the YouTubes and on the Rumbles, and they're coming after him. He unveiled the relationship between the pharmaceuticals and the media and the government and the people that pay for all of that crap.
Get him, man.
And so they're going after this guy.
Forget the Epstein list. Go after this guy.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the I mean, this is the upside down world that we live in, right? So somebody sneaks cocaine into the most surveilled building on the planet.
Oh, I remember that.
We don't have any video of anything. We just know maybe it was in this room, maybe it was in that room, and sometimes there's a room. Hunter has been known to be in that room, but so we can't really say anything. And for some reason, the video surveillance doesn't stretch to that part of the room. All of a sudden, you've got what's her name, Representative Congresswoman Lorraine Boebert.
Yeah.
Who went to go watch Beetlejuice, and at first she gets busted, and they've got these IR cams, and so at first she was busted for vaping in the theater.
Oh no!
Yeah. And then I guess they were watching the video for a little bit longer, and apparently she got felt up by her date.
Wow!
Right? And
lady.
Apparently it was reciprocal. There was mutual feeling up going on because they were in a darkened theater. And I'm sitting there going, I really don't know that I've got a problem with any of this stuff. I mean, look, she's a 2A, she's a gun-toting broad, and she's going to watch this show, and she's vaping. And I don't know. I've never made a decision as to which side of the vaping conversation I'm on. I know kids shouldn't vape. Probably shouldn't vape. Kids shouldn't vape. But as far as I'm concerned, you take in something and then you exhale. What are you basically exhaling? It's water, isn't it? Isn't it mostly like water?
I don't know.
It's not
It
nicotine.
looks cool, though.
Everybody gets secondhand smoke sick from vape?
Man, I'm into it.
So
puff.
I'm just saying this is it could not possibly be any more obvious what is going on here. Russell Brand said all the wrong things, and now some women from somewhere have, quote, gone to the media. They went to the media first because they knew that they would get a sympathetic ear from the media.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We know he didn't do it. He's got no game.
He's got just jaw. You see that jaw in the guy? But anyway, so there are now that I've seen a couple of very, very public tweets from very well-known women in the entertainment community that are saying, yeah, you know what, Me and Russell, we were traveling together, both kind of lonely, and we were getting freaky. We were getting down like Steve Love, but I told him I wasn't down to go all the way, and he was okay with that. He said, "Oh, really? Okay, fine." They stayed together, slept in the same bed together, but, quote, nothing happened. And this woman is going out there saying, I don't know who these people are with the allegations that they're making against him. But he understood the concept that no means no.
Nothing happened.
8:21 in the morning. At least that's what they told their husbands. I don't know. It might not be a whole lot of truth to any of that stuff. But that's the way it is. You speak the truth to power, allegedly, and expect power to come down on you like a load of bricks. 8:21 in the morning. 888-825-888-TALK. I got the traffic map back up just because I want to see if it could possibly get any uglier. Central Guam. Route 8 all the way up to 8, 10, and 16. Running very, very slow here this morning. Not sure exactly why. Could be an accident. Or just could be, just kind of some kind of slow driver out there. And does that have to do with the price of gas? Is there a conventional wisdom out there that we need to
drivers,
debunk?
Ray, just bad drivers everywhere.
I want to make this clear. If you go slower, you're still using the same amount of gas. I think there might be some people going, you know what? Gas is $5.40 a gallon. I'll put gas in the car, and then I'm going to drive 25 miles an hour everywhere. Marine Corps Drive, Teeds Route 16, whatever. I'm going to drive 25 miles an hour everywhere I go. And I don't think the mathematics adds up that way. I think, once you're on the road and the car's actually started, it's like spinning reserve. You're going to spend this much gas to get from point A to B, whether you get there 55 miles an hour or 25 miles an hour. And you might be wondering, Ray, are you talking to that guy that you always get stuck behind on Magagaga Highway at 4 o'clock in the morning? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That very one.
Good morning, guy.
I passed him this morning. I passed him on the side of the road, bro. I was on the shoulder. I passed this guy. You could hear the rocks coming up underneath the chassis of the Frontier. It was great. Just had to get past this guy because otherwise I would still be on the road now. He might be, maybe it was one of those guys that back in the early 1990s.
I can see the vein on your neck popping out, dude. Go, guy, go.
Would you please get out of my lane? All right, I'm getting very, very close to the most important story of the morning, but I still got some other folks I want to say good morning to. Been hanging out, waiting for me to wish them their good mornings, like Cousin Troy saying good morning. Hi there, Cousin Ray, Joe, Donna, Jerry, Benita Manzanita, who can thank Cousin Troy for that name. I think this is the first one that started calling her that. Mindy Sanchez, beautiful Sarita Garin. Yes, 98 days before Christmas. Mark Cruz doing his wavy thing. Francis Duffy, Galo Perez, Rich and Fran Tenorio Kitchetu, and Charlie Hermosa. Mike Grace Blas, Ronnie Dionaldo. Hey, Teach, nice to see you there. Bertha Maza Cruz, and Zerot Young, Bob and Connie Bartonico.
The runners.
Runners. Yes, they were there last night. They were there hanging out.
Good morning.
And I'm didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time talking with them, but it's always nice to see some of my old running buddies. ISIS, why are they trying to enter Guam, says Dwayne Santos. Landa, what do we have here that they want to know? Maybe a new tourist concept. Enjoy Guam illegally. Hey, that'd be cool. We're taking all these fun places that normally you couldn't possibly get into, but, like drinking in Tumon after 2. Not supposed to do that, right?
No.
But there are places.
Yeah.
I'll bet you some of these people work in places like that where they're, still selling drinks and whatever.
We can show them the valley of the prison, Ray.
There you go. There's another running buddy. Doris is online here this morning. Joe Blas says, thanks you, Army Corps, for cleaning up EPAT, and Telefofo Mayor staff for picking up all of the other stuff. Edita Camarillo's there. Franklin Menu. I got Igna Kinata. Yeah, I think it's Igna. I don't want to say Ina. Jay is online saying, any senator addressing the United Airlines fares from Guam to the U.S. mainland, Hawaii, Los Angeles, any other city, only $250 to $400 sum. Why are we being gouged over $1,600? Are we not part of the U.S. or is Guam a foreign planet? Why aren't we afforded better fares? Let me see. Phil from Venue Guam's there. Sandra Rage, Richard Leon, Mitch Prashado. Hey, cuz, nice to see you there. And Franklin Meadow, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. 8:25, and that was the Facebook side. YouTube side got a bunch of other people. Now, the most...
you got it on.
Yeah.
Good man, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You've been winning a lot this morning.
I'm waiting for the eventual failure, the eventual crash and burn. Well, I don't, I cannot necessarily speak to high airplane fares getting between here and everywhere else. I remember, was it last year that all of a sudden there was some kind of glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah, it was like $7,000.
Yeah. And then it's, no.
The economy
what you got to do is you got to get out and get rid of all of your cookies and restart your browser and then come in like you're coming in from Guam. And then it would give you a different rate. And everybody tried that. And it was still really, really high. It was lower, but it was still very, very high. And we said, was there still a glitch in the Matrix? And the answer was no, that's apparently the rate. That's what you got to pay before you go from here to there. And I just, outside of business and, medical travel or something like that, I don't know how anybody can mentally justify paying some of those fares to get out of here. Later on, in fact, this hour, got a new friend from Philippine Airlines going to be coming in.
Oh, one of your pals?
One of my pals. One of my pals from PAL. And I'll find out just how much trouble I can get into for taking the forks and knives and the spoons.
Oh, the good stuff, man.
Well, I leave the heavy plastic stuff there, but I mean, like the forks and knives, they're just going to throw those away, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Of course.
And the reason why, if you're listening on the way in, and I'll apologize now, the reason why I take the spoons especially is because they fit perfectly in a cup of Yoplait.
Oh,
I've done the
yogurt.
math. Yeah, and it has exactly the right amount of scoop at the bottom of it, so that you can scoop out all of the You'll Play, because You'll Play, in comparison to Printer Ink and baby formula, very, very expensive yogurt product, if you know what I mean. So I don't like to waste the stuff. Anyway, so that's coming up. Ask them about some of their the fairs and some of the growth that they have experienced and they're going to continue to experience. I mean, so much so that they've moved from one end of the mall to the other because of all of the additional business that they're going to be conducting. And as I said, you need another excuse to learn everything there is to know about Philippine Airlines. Daryl Hall and his band with special guest,
Todd Rundgren?
Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, it's not John Oates, right, man?
No,
They broke up.
I don't know what's going on there. I don't know who's got the majority of the child support. Anyway, so Daryl Hall on the 27th. Now, there are going to be people of a certain age group that are listening going, who's Daryl Hall? What's the big deal? Why do I care about this? And if you're not in my group, then you're maybe not going to understand. But Daryl Hall, big contributor to music from the 1970s all the way up to the 80s, 90s, his own career, plus the TV show and all the things he does. And I'd actually seen Daryl Hall and John Oates back in the 1980s. In fact, when they were climbing all over the top of the charts.
Man-Eater.
Yeah, all of those big songs.
That.
Yep, at the Honolulu Shell back in the day. I saw them there. And it was a good show, and they're great. He is a great showman to begin with, so I think it's going to be a great show to watch. Plus, it's at MOA in the Philippines. Can you think of anything better to do on the Sunday?
My legs are hurting already, Ray.
On the Sunday after Thanksgiving? Yeah. We'll find out soon if the governor's going to give you the day off. 8:29 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Donna D's got news and headlines that we'll take care of. I'm about the celebrity birthdays and more. So stick around for that. It's going to be coming up. What? Who's on the phone now?
It's Mark. It's your buddy Mark, man.
Which Mark?
The one from Tatuan.
Oh, Mark Cruz. How many?
Hey.
So,
Daryl, was it the other day, someone was playing I Can't Go For That live version.
Ooh.
And I think it was Daryl the other day. And it was recent because his voice wasn't really there. But I mean, you could get into it.
Well, I intend to. I've been a fan of his, and it was on the bucket list when it was Daryl Hall and John Oates, but he did the whole Dreamtime album and a couple others after after the whole Daryl Hall and John Oates stuff, and there is something about his voice, kind of that blue-eyed soul thing, but he was also able to embrace a number of other kind of sounds that were popular in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and then when I was in Vegas in March for that big Con Expo show, Barry Manilow was at our hotel. The problem was I had all 5 nights lined up with vendors, so there was no way to get to watch.
I had the same problem when I was in Vegas last, and Elton John was doing one of his farewell tours. And I missed the opportunity to see him because I short time I'd lined up all kinds of stuff for me to take advantage of that did not include $150, and it was very, very expensive. It was under $200 for good seats to go see Elton John, and outside of the stuff that he did in the mid 80s to whenever, I was a big fan of everything that he did from about 1968 through the 70s. So I would have known quite a number of words to all of that song. Of course, the biggest one is how many people missed an opportunity to watch Michael Jackson anywhere, right?
Yep.
Or Prince.
Exactly.
Yeah. So take advantage of it while you can. Is it time for another confession? Can I give you one?
Shoot.
I've never watched a show at MOA. What's that like? What's that like?
I've never watched one there either.
I've sent people to go watch shows there. But I've never actually gone to the Mall of Asia, and that's why this one here is going to be kind of interesting.
Who do we know that Carl Pangilinan? I think he took
the girls.
Fella there.
All right.
Yeah, I think he took the girls there. So.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I've had conversations about MOA with like Dave Alcorn and a bunch of other guys, but I have never been there. I want to say he went to go watch Journey there.
Pretty sure.
At MOA.
Or EJ. EJ's always in the concert, so he's probably been there a dozen times.
But it was a delight to see that. So Darrell Hall on the 27th of November, I think we ought to charter a plane and just all of us go. Sarita, you can be our guide. Closing in on 8:32. Mutkus, I'll talk to you pretty soon, bud. All right, here comes Donna D with her last big look of news right after these.
Breaking news for all Mash Bowl lovers. Brace yourselves for KFC's Mash Bowl deal. Picture this: creamy mashed potatoes, sweet corn, topped with KFC's premium chicken nuggets, all smothered in gravy and crowned with a 3-cheese blend. Did I mention it comes with an ice-cold Pepsi? Hold on to your seats because this isn't just a meal, it's a revelation. And it's available now at an unbelievable price, only $6.50. Get to your nearest KFC and dive into this epic Mash Bowl deal before it's gone. At KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
That's it. Lupang Guam saying it. Russell Brand is being Michael Jacksonized right now. Yep. Also saying solar light thieves. So in addition to typhoons destroying your expensive solar investment, thieves too. How wonderful. I except for, I'm not going to say that I understand the way the criminal mind thinks, but is there a big resale value for stolen solar lights?
There's a good trade value for it. So you know who the man is, the guy that has all the solar lights around his home.
Right. When the power's out and this guy's lit up like the Eiffel Tower.
That's the guy holding.
There it is. That's that. Police officers, there is your man. That is the fence for the entire island. I just don't, because they're not, it's not like they're expensive. That's the thing. Because you can go to Dwayne's place at the mall and get like two good ones for like $150 or $75 a piece. This is not like huge money. It's not like, big lights from GPA.
It's enough to keep the high going, though, Ray.
I guess. 8:34 in the morning. Donna D with our last big look at news and headlines. Hava, Donna, what's going on?
The U.S. Department of Education Grants and Risk Management Division was on island to assess if GDOE has made enough improvements to reconsider its high-risk status. GDOE was designated a high-risk grantee in 2003 when the U.S. DOE division will re-examine if GDOE could manage its finances without a third-party fiduciary agent. And the Manilao Doni Festival kicks off this Friday, September 22 at 5 o'clock in the night market grounds next to Santa Teresita Church. There will be arts, apparel, food vendors, carnival games, and a petting zoo. The festival will continue Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 9. And Community First Federal Credit Union opened its newly built Hagåtña headquarters and is now open to service customers. It's located along Route 4 between West O'Brien Drive and Chalan Santo Papa. Community First is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. Members are welcome to use the walk-up service, the drive-through teller lane, and the ATM. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
All right. As I said, the most important piece of information that we've got to hand off this morning to our listeners is there was no winner in the last Queen of Hearts drawing at the VFW.
Oh, yeah. How much is it now, Ray? How much?
Almost $4,000.
Really?
$3,000.
That's a lot of money, man.
$184.50.
That's like 2 months of power bill right
now,
there.
If it was just $31.84, I would have said, it was just $31.84. But you throw that 50 cents in there?
Yeah.
I'm rounding it up, babe.
There's 50 cents?
There's 50 cents, yeah. I don't know how there's 50 cents. Come to think of it, but there's 50 cents in it. $3,184.50 is the jackpot that they will start with this Friday in the Queen of Hearts. Now, the other vital piece of information that I do not have is how many cards are left?
Oh, yeah.
Because they retired the card
when they
after
get picked,
after it's
right?
been used. Yeah, you put it, you flip the thing over so everybody knows what numbers are still out there and available. There's only 52 cards in the deck, and so I don't know how many that they've run through. Well, 3,100. We'll just figure it's like 20 or something like that. So what are the other 30 cards? If it's 25, what are the other 25 cards? Inquiring minds will want to know all about that. Celebrity birthdays. Are you ready?
Oh yes.
Oh boy.
Singer, actor Frankie Avalon is 83 years old.
Wow.
Wait, what did he sing, Ray?
He's only got
Did he
eyes for
sing
you. Oh,
okay.
Grease, yeah. Grease, it's the word. It's the word. Anyway, so Lance Armstrong is 52 years old, but should there not be a disgrace in front of Lance Armstrong? Didn't he get busted for doping in all the races?
Yeah, but that doesn't define him as a person.
No, it doesn't.
No, you know why? Because, and I watched this last night after the race, and maybe you've seen it too. It's a very, very inspiring movie. I've always felt moved and touched by it. Dodgeball from a few years ago.
And with Vince Vaughn?
Yes, and Vince Vaughn is in the movie. So Lance Armstrong is in the movie. Vince Vaughn is about to run away from the deal, abandon all of his friends from the Average Joe Gym Club. And Lance Armstrong came up to him in the airport and said wise words, sage
Give
words.
him the pep talk.
Got him back in the game. Here's another one. Jada Pinkett Smith is 52 years old. I don't know if that's something to celebrate.
Keep her name. Ray Gibson,
That's it.
you watch yourself, man.
Slap heard around the world based on a joke about her being the next G.I. Jane. Dare I? Jada Pinkett Smith is 52 years old. And a name, it doesn't roll off the tongue, but the character he plays on television absolutely does. Jason Sudeikis, the guy that plays Ted Lasso, is 48 years old. Now, some of you have never watched an episode of Ted. Yeah, Ted Lasso. It's an interesting show right up to, 3 or 4 episodes into the 3rd season. I haven't made it much further than that. If you're looking for something to celebrate this week, I'm going to go backwards in order of importance. It's Cheeseburger Day.
Oh, boy.
Our favorite.
There's a possibility I might enjoy
man.
a cheeseburger at some point today.
At least 3 times a week, I know you.
Yeah, that's actually true. It's First Love Day. Do you remember your first love?
Does it count? I don't think that's love. That's infatuation. It's
I don't
puppy
know.
love.
I don't know, but
It was Sister Gertrude. For me.
But is it also the one where it's you have dreams and nightmares at the same time for the rest of your life about answers to the great what if questions between you and that first love? National Singles Week, incidentally, begins today. So all of you bachelors guys live at home with 1 can of beer and a cat. It's our week. Yay. Prostate Cancer Awareness Week.
Oh, no.
And to turn serious on this, I've got a buddy of mine that is now heading towards recovery. They caught it early. They were able to give him the care that he needed here on Guam.
Wow.
In order to get it done and to take care of himself. And so I'm really, really glad to report that this is one of those things that generally you've got to be on a pretty good first name relationship with the doctor, because it's a rather intimate test for all of these kinds of things and different numbers that they're going to be looking for when they do your blood and urine and whatever screenings. Prostate Cancer Awareness Week. Take 10 minutes and do a Google on it, guys. National Singles Week, as I said, National Dog Week, and Farm Animal Awareness Week. And I'm going to use that as an opportunity to say, when are the farmers going to get paid? My understanding has been it's almost 4 months since Mawar, and they have not gotten any recovery, though, just yet. What's going on with all that money, guys? 8:40 in the morning. And, Don, I'm going to let you run. I think we've got some guests either on their way or here already. That my phone was going off. So check the front door on the way out. And if we do have guests, please bring them in. 888-825-5888-TALK. We'll continue after these.
Half a day from Worksite Labs, Guam's newest medical diagnostic company. Worksite Labs brings medical testing to where you live, work, and shop, making testing convenient and quicker for you. Our Dedito Payless Patient Service Center is now open. We accept all insurance plans, so ask your doctor about Worksite Labs during your next checkup. We'll accept any doctor's order, so go to guam.worksitelabs.com to book your appointment or simply walk in to complete your tests.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and Urgent Care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, that's my bad.
I wasn't sure if you were back in the room yet. Did you get the door?
No, I opened the door for
Okay,
him.
you're
He's
good,
out
man.
there.
8:42 in the morning. 8 I'm sorry. I was looking at my phone. I'm distracted as well. My daughter is at the, what do they call it? The West Coast thing, that the whole John Dank
The
straight up
PIFA
jet.
something? Pacific Island Festival?
No, PIFA's next week. They're in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And so my daughter sent me a picture of, the kind of a crowd that's gathered out for their appearance there. And she says it's like a party back home.
Oh,
she says it's
sweet.
like a party back home.
Man.
There's tons of Guamis out hanging out because John Dank is there. He's going to sing his favorite John Dank songs.
That's right. That's what's happening, man. Party time.
There it is. Yeah, I got that feeling. 8:42 in the morning. Portions of the program here brought to you by Kim and Ron over at Security Title. You're going to love dealing with them. You're in the show business. Maybe you're in the real estate business. They know a thing or two about both of them, and love to talk to you about all their experiences. Now, there's a spot that plays overnight in the middle of the night, and it's a thing about title lock. Because apparently there's this method here where bad guys can go in and purport to be you and sign the title to somebody else. And it would be really nice if to know that there is a way out from under that should it happen. And number two, how you can prevent it. My guess is she knows all about that. So check out Kim and Ron at Security Title today.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
It's a party. It's a pal party in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely awesome. 888-8255, 888-TALK is my name, and we're going to kind of get everybody gathered up while the microphones are already on. You can tell because the red light is on, and make some new friends here from Philippine Airlines. It has been a number of years that I've had the opportunity to fly to the Philippines and beyond on Philippine Airlines for a variety of reasons. We can talk about some of those things before too much longer, but I want to make sure I want to make sure I have all of the names correct. I thought I was only going to have one gentleman in the studio, but as it turns out, I'm being treated by what looks like the entire upper echelon of Philippine Airlines in the region. So there should be some interesting conversations about where you guys are right now, and where we intend to go. So I believe we'll start with Salvador Britannico.
That's correct.
Well,
that's correct.
So we met briefly, just very briefly, because we were standing in a very high traffic area at the mall last night for the race, and yeah, I did run the race, 3.5 miles of it. Heard all the cars honking because they wanted to get off the roadway and go to the mall like all of the rest of us. But a fantastic event, and unfortunately, I had to leave before I was announced winner of the ticket aboard PAL that flies to anywhere they fly out of the Pacific.
That's correct. That's correct.
And, I missed that.
But first of all, congratulations, Ray, on the run. It's good to see you there. The Philippine Airlines contingent enjoyed participating in the run.
I believe you ran as well.
All of us.
Everybody ran.
Bang, Rap, and Rael, we all ran.
Who came in first? Because if you come in first, you get to be the president.
Oh no! We don't count. We don't count who comes in first. But it was a good event. Good to see the entire community enjoy the event, and of course, congratulations to the Micronesia Mall for their 35th anniversary. And
I practically grew up there. As a broadcaster, from when they first opened up the Micronesia Mall, we would go down there and do live broadcasts all the time. And there was a big sporting event. The stars would come by, or autograph signing events. Those all took place at the central location for Guam, which was the Micronesia Mall, and it looks like that trend is going to continue maybe for another 35 years.
Yes, and But first, before that, it shouldn't take you 35 years to visit the Philippines again.
Oh well, I'm putting together the plan now, and there might be another follow-up conversation in the emails. Daryl Hall is performing at MOA Thanksgiving weekend, November the 27th. He is performing there. And so what I want to do, I want to go. I'll pay for the tickets. I want to go and watch the show. But I was thinking maybe we could do a giveaway on one of the radio stations and give away a couple of tickets aboard PAL. And then Renan is the promoter in the Philippines, good buddy of mine. And so he will give me a couple of tickets to go and watch the show. I think the only thing I got to work out is which one of your houses he's going to be staying at. They will stay at when they get there. But, there's always a good reason to go to the Philippines aboard Philippine Airlines. And, one of those things where I remember the first time I got on the airplane and I thought, well, this is going to be a completely different experience than I've ever had before. There's a hospitality, almost a homecoming feeling that you get when you ride Philippine Airlines.
Yes, definitely. And that's what we take pride in. Being able to service passengers with the heart of the Filipino.
The heart of the Filipino, yes.
And of course, there's a big Filipino community here, many in the service industry, and we offer a unique product. And concerts is one of those reasons why you should go.
Concerts, I was recently there because I needed to go and visit. This time I went to go see my friends over at Medical City, and get my checkup there. Otherwise, I stay in Bonifacio Global Cities, so St. Luke's is literally right up the street from where I am there. And then there was a trade show, so I tied up my my health. And the trip down to Singapore, which was again on Philippine Airlines, which was absolutely wonderful. Getting down there, and I think what was the concern that I had about that one didn't have anything to do with the airline. It was at that time where I needed to have a negative PCR from Singapore just to get back into Manila. I think that's changed now. I don't believe that there are any.
Of course, changed. It's fully open. Well, at least COVID is somehow long forgotten, and everybody's back traveling. You mentioned medical tourism is also a big market for the Philippines, and we do fly a lot of people for medical tourism.
Yeah, usually a long line of wheelchairs when you're disembarking the airplane.
Yes, but of course, you mentioned flying from Manila to Singapore. So we offer good connections from Manila, especially to different parts of Southeast Asia. Singapore being one of them. You have Bangkok, you have Vietnam, you have Kuala Lumpur, practically anywhere in Southeast Asia.
All places on my bucket list. They're all places on my bucket list.
There you go.
And I'm trying to convince as many people as possible, but just the great service, the low fares. And that I don't want to say by comparison because they've always been low fares from here to the Philippines and then to these other destinations. I know people want to go to Bali, and that's just a couple of jumps out of Manila with Philippine Airlines.
Exactly. We fly between Guam to Manila daily. We also fly to Bali daily, and you can connect to our Bali flights from Guam.
All right. Also, little known fact, and I think maybe something that the people around here need to be educated a little bit more on is: did you know you can get to England on Philippine Airlines?
Well, for England, for now, that route is suspended.
Are you code sharing with that?
Not
with
yet.
Anybody?
Not yet.
What happened? What changed?
Well, during the pandemic, we had to rethink our network. But we have plans to flying back to Europe when we get our new aircraft, which could be in a couple of years or so.
All right. Well, to the degree that I put pressure on the conversation here, many people obviously thrilled about the idea of going to Manila for whatever reason, shopping, medical, just plain goofing off like, some of the best dining in the world is right around there. And then there's the other conversation about how can I use Philippine Airlines to get myself to destinations, Hawaii, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and SeaTac?
Well, for those destinations, again, Manila is our hub, right? And if you're in Manila, you can practically fly anywhere that you want. So you can choose to make a connection within the same day, or you can choose to stay a few days, enjoy Manila, and then visit to wherever we fly to.
Well, my preference is to do it that way, so I can be. I feel like I'm traveling. I feel like I've been somewhere when I'm in the Philippines. Things have changed a lot with first of all with COVID. What was Pal's reaction to COVID, and then even before that, I think that you had taken some time, a little bit of broken service in the family, but you had taken some time to be able to take the Pal story and amplify it, if you will, and spread the word around a lot more. So much so that PAL, for many people, just considered a regional airline, but now it is considered among the world's top 20 players.
Yes. Well, of course, COVID really disrupted the airline industry. We all know that, both the airline and the tourism industries. But we're fortunate to be able to come out of it stronger. So right now, what we're doing is we're focusing on being able to, first, of course, deliver the world-class service that we commit to deliver. Second is to be able to grow our network and ensure that we are able to satisfy traveler needs. Again, there's a lot of things happening also in our hub, especially in Manila. So since the pandemic, all our international flights are already in one terminal, Terminal 1. So this makes connections much easier for our passengers.
Okay, that's which one is that? I always get confused.
Dinoy Aquino International Airport, Terminal 1.
Terminal 1.
So all our international flights will land and depart from there.
Okay.
For domestic flights, you'll have to make a transfer to Terminal 2, but it's a quick and easy connection for us. For our
3 is the one that comes out over by the Belmont, right?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So my bearings are correct and sorted out. You've got
you know Manila. You know Manila. Looks like you know Manila.
Well, I've spent a lot of time at Resort World Manila, but I'm not as a gambler.
Okay.
There, as I was illustrating before, I've sent radio station listeners to go and enjoy concerts at MOA, and I've got relationships with the folks over at Resort World Manila. Unfortunately, they've all changed. Everybody that was there before COVID is now gone, and I don't know who my new opposite number is at Resorts World. I'm trying to figure it out now so I can kind of rebuild that team of people that I had. In fact, the last time, not the last time, but the time. One of the trips prior to COVID, I was invited by Resort World Manila to run in a 10-kilometer race that they had there. Back in those, it was fantastic. It was fun.
There are many running events there.
Yes,
almost every weekend.
I know. I think we've got some friends in telecom that you might know that has also just finished one of the big races just this last weekend in Manila. Just a fantastic
I think in
place.
November, when you go, there should be some races there. So you might want to run for that concert weekend that you're going to.
Well, it's the burn months. If you're looking for another excuse to travel to the Philippines, you might want to get some shopping in now in the Philippines. I mean, the peso is at 56.72, so the American dollar is going to go a lot further when you're shopping over at Green Hills or Greenbelt, as the case may be. So you're going to, it's a great place to go and enjoy some shopping. And, as I say, my preference is Bonifacio Global City because there's a Shake Shack there.
Oh yeah.
Yes, among many other things.
Yes.
But it is the Burr months, and I'm sure that there's other packages that we might get going. He's getting a note passed along to him. Sal, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and introduce some of the other guys that are in the studio, so that what's your name? Bang.
Yes. No, you mentioned some good rates. We actually have an ongoing seat sale now. We call it the ultimate seat sale. It's a good time to buy your tickets for the end of this year or early next year.
I thought I heard something like that. I'm going to ask you to see if we can get a little bit more in the camera range so people know who they're talking about. Is it one of those things where I can buy my ticket now, but I don't have to use it right away?
No, you can travel by next year if you want. So the earlier you buy, the lower the fares are, and now is a good time to buy.
Okay, so I'm, you know where my mindset is already, where what the time period is that I'm thinking about doing some traveling. So all I got to do is go to the PAL office at the Micronesia Mall and go ahead and set everything up. But there have been some changes to that. One of the other reasons why you all are in town is to see the new office.
That's right.
New city office.
We have an all-new office. We used to be situated on the ground floor, but we're now on the second floor, right at the atrium. So it's a really good venue. You can see it from the ground, and then it's Of course, you can visit Connie over there.
Oh, yeah.
And check out the rates that we have. So it's not only to Manila, but as Bud mentioned, we're doing very well with our Southeast Asia and other routes would connect from Guam. And speaking of connections, with arrival in Manila before 8 a.m. and departure from Manila at 10:30 p.m., we virtually connect to all of our routes, whether it be international or domestic.
Yes, I've experienced that on numerous occasions. Although I will say that you leave to Singapore too early for me when I go off in that direction. But that's okay because I'm going to stay in Manila for a couple of days and enjoy that before I go down to Singapore or my next destination. Again, that's the way I recommend that you do that. The rates are all going to conspire to be very, very easy on your pocketbook, and of course there's the hospitality there. If you do find that you might have to be in the airport for longer than you imagine, then you might want to join. It's the Mabuhay Club, yes?
Yes.
What's the mileage?
Mabuhay Miles.
Okay, Mabuhay Miles. How do I join that? Can I join that at the office here?
You can actually enroll online or through our office.
Okay.
So yes, we have actually a very healthy Mabuhay Miles member base here.
Yeah.
And we want to grow that further. What we want to do is make everyone aware that everything you can do, buy, purchase, and spend will be connected to Mabuhay Miles. That's what we want to have.
Down the road, and it's one of those things I have not yet joined because, frankly, some of the people that I know, and they handle all of my accommodations. I just tell them when I'm going, and then all of a sudden an e-ticket will show up in my box. I want to see if I can get a couple of other folks on the screen before it's all time for you to go. My name is Ray. What's yours?
Hi, good morning, sir. My name is Rap Romualdo.
Rap, what do you do with PAL?
I'm a routes development officer for Southeast Asia and Japan.
So when will people be able to fly from PAL from Saipan to Guam to Manila? Are we developing that route?
We'll try to study the route.
Yeah.
But we are focusing on our point-to-point and Philippines beyond domestic destinations and our Southeast Asia and all other networks that can connect from Guam.
Well, you'd be doing a lot of people a lot of favors if we were able to include it. And it doesn't have to be the biggest plane that you have either between here and the CNMI. There just needs to be an alternative. And I think that's one of the challenges now in the aviation business, in the airplane business, is being able to provide that kind of choice, given all of the regulation that you have, given all of the costs that you naturally have to assume when you do all of these things, because the route at the end of the day has to turn a profit for the airline.
Yes.
That's the idea, right? Yes. Okay, we'll work through some of that. I want to make sure I include you as well. Very nice, Barang Tagalog.
Oh, my name is Israel.
Israel.
And currently I'm the one looking after route development for Philippine domestic.
So there's beyond domestic, and then there is domestic. One of my people that watched the program was talking about how they were looking forward to spending some time in Cebu. And you can get to Cebu and a number of other destinations when you fly into Manila. It's so do you have to move from one terminal to another?
Yes, from Terminal 1, you just have to go through the immigration process. You get your luggage, and then right outside, there's a bus picking you up, going to Terminal 2.
Right.
So it's really easy.
It almost sounds like they should be right next to each other, but they really aren't.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a stretch of the legs that you've got to go through when you do all of these things. Tell me about the growth of the airline. I know that you start talking about route development, and you try to do everything with the number of units that you've got right now, the number of people, pilots, planes, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth of the matter is, you're not always going to be able to do that. So, are you looking at getting more planes in the fleet?
Yes, we do have. We recently just announced aircraft acquisition. So we did order a number, a fleet of A350-1000s. So this will mostly be for the long-haul flights.
There's very, very comfortable Airbus rides.
That's a very comfortable Airbus rides. The way it will be designed is business class will be all aisle access.
Ooh.
So that will be one of the best in class.
Is it that wide body enough? The body is wide enough to support that?
350-1000. And then you'll have premium economy seating as well as economy. And passengers can also expect that they'll have a good flight experience with top of the line IFE and of course most importantly, more than the hardware, of course, the service. Again,
to be
we go
sure.
back to the service.
To be sure, I was spoiled. If you download the app. From PAL, and as you're flying, it will send you notifications. And in my last trip, I was down in Singapore, as I said, trying to make sure I had my negative PCR test. And I don't know, maybe an hour before, 2 hours before the flight was going to leave, it gave me the opportunity to bid on an upgrade. And I bid on an upgrade and got it. And so for the 4.5 hours from Singapore back to Manila, I was in the pointy end of the airplane. I was right behind the cockpit, and the service all on board is great everywhere, but you can't beat first class business for a service that you've got in there. And it was absolutely terrific with the lay down seats, and somebody kept bringing me the San Miguel lights, and it was a very, very memorable experience, and I certainly enjoyed it. And now it's one of those things, because I don't remember bidding a whole lot extra to get that first class accommodation. So if you ever are invited, listeners, if you were ever invited to bid for something like that with Philippine Airlines, get it. Because
definitely worth it. Definitely worth
they
it.
could have taken some more, because there were a couple other empty seats in this plane going up. I think it was one of those.
Better job of making the right offers.
Yeah.
For everybody. So.
But I think it was one of those where you had to change the aircraft, and you got a bigger aircraft going up, so there were a lot more opportunities to get more people into first class. That's why I bid on that. Fun stuff. It's crazy about the airline business, where some of these things come to you and they're long time planning, and then you get one of those. Hey, we're flying a bigger plane. Let's go ahead and put something on the website and be able to execute with all of that. Well, I'm looking forward to the next trip to the Philippines, as I said, probably in November sometime, to get out there, and I hope that you all have a chance to come back and enjoy Guam again.
We do. I'm really enjoying the time here. Everybody's been so friendly.
It's like that, yeah. Well, also, we're all brothers and sisters, because the Spaniards, we're all children of the Spaniards one way or the other. Same food, same kind of laid-back attitude. I hope that I get a chance to see you again soon.
Yes, and then we invite everybody to visit our new office at the Micronesia Mall. Of course, our team there will be ready to accommodate any queries about our flights. And of course, we look forward to having more people fly on Philippine Airlines, more of your listeners, and of course, enjoy the Philippines. And again, to whatever destination we fly to from Manila.
For anybody that is listening and working with any referral office on Guam, whether it's Medical City or St. Luke's, they've got the direct lines to everybody over at the PAL office here. So it will be completely seamless. They'll be able to integrate your air accommodations on Philippine Airlines. So unbelievably easy. Won't even notice that they're there. Just after 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure if we've got any Fox News that we need to catch up on. About another minute. Well, let's get that last minute in, and we'll grab some selfies real quick and then finish up the last hour of the show.
Voting work covered by television, theatrical, or streaming contracts. The writers began picketing on May 2nd, and Hollywood actors joined in July. People are calling for wage increases, better residuals, and other protections, to include ones from artificial intelligence.
And that is Fox's CB Cup. The Taliban detaining at least one American along with 17 others on charges of, quote, propagating and promoting Christianity. The Taliban raiding offices of a Swiss nonprofit in Afghanistan. That charity group says it hasn't been advised of the reason for the detention of its staff members. Reports saying detainees have been taken to a location in Kabul. I'm Paul Stevens, and this is Fox News.
We don't want you standing in long lines. It's just not right. So Bank Pacific provides excellent online and mobile banking and 24/7 access to your money with our Visa debit cards. And if you want to visit any of our 4 offices, please do so, because we're short on lines and long on service, open Fridays until 6 and on Saturday mornings. Goodbye to the frustration of waiting in long lines. Say hello to Bank Pacific. It'd be our privilege. Bank Pacific, member FDIC.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA, or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Hoffaday. Alex Dimapan here from Security Title. Title reports, escrow forms, signatures, statements, and title insurance. When it comes to buying, selling, or refinancing your property, we do it all for you. At Security Title, we enjoy watching your dreams come true and being the ones to make sure it happens just as you planned. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Lunch and dinner just got way more exciting at Chili's. They're dishing out their new and improved menu. Take a bite of the new crispy buffalo blue crispers, toss in Chili's signature buffalo sauce with a drizzle of house ranch, or enjoy the new Chipotle Fresh Mex Bowl, loaded with field greens, fajita rice, avocado, and more. There's so many new items on the Chili's menu, you have to come back to try them all. Chili's new menu is available for dine-in, takeout, or delivery via goodtogowedeliver.com. At Chili's, more life and great food happen here.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
Okay, so next trip, there's going to be pictures of the offices, the hangars, and the place where they hide the flight attendants when they're not on the airplane.
You got the invite, huh?
What I'm going for. Yep. 888-255-888-TALK is the telephone number around these parts. Always nice to have connections, and hopefully they got the part about Resort World Manila and might be able to make a couple of connections, because I'm telling you guys, I'm going to make this go. You're gonna go. He's gonna make a big deal about Daryl Hall again. Look, it's just travel. It's music. We all grew up around the same time. Many of us, grew up around the same time, and we'll be able to sing all of the songs and even the Todd Rundgren songs, and we get to do it in the Philippines. And I'm gonna see if I can get. I've already got, for all intents and purposes, the commitment for the tickets to go and watch the show, because the guy. I'm not going to total name drop, but the guy that is the producer of the show is a friend of mine that I've gotten tickets for from in the past. So I know I can nail the tickets and maybe make them real good. Well, I don't know if it's MOA. Are there chairs at MOA?
Never been there for a concert.
Yeah, see, I got the same problem. But anyway, so that, and then the guys, come on, couple of tickets for winners aboard Philippine Airlines.
Yeah.
Accommodations at Resort World Manila, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of other nice hotels there.
And a driver boss.
Hey. Yes.
Yeah. You got to have a driver, because you can't drive out there if you're not from there.
You can, they have the app thing that you can get.
Oh, okay, ride sharing kind of thing.
Yeah, what's it called? Grab. It's a Grab. You call it Grab. You know what else they have? Although I'm too chicken to ride it, there's a version of Grab with motorcycles. With motorcycles, so you ride on the back, and they're not big motorcycles, not like Harley Davidsons with sidecars, right? These are like 7,500 cc motorcycles, and you literally ride holding the driver by the waist.
That's the best part.
I'm just thinking it's a little too intimate for this.
Don't hold the belt loops.
Like
Put your arms around the guy.
Like I gotta buy a couple of drinks first for something I don't know. At any rate, 909. I'm going to put that package together. We'll let you know how you might be able to get signed up for it. Grab is really good, says Brad. You know how you can do this. I don't know that they do it here, but I've been down there, and I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and we passed by this pastry shop, and he looks inside. He says, "Oh, my wife would love that." And I said, "Well, why don't you get some?" He says, "Well, we're going to be hanging out together, so it won't get to her until later." So I said, "What do you do?" He says, he calls Grab and told Grab to come and buy and pick it up for him and then take it home.
Oh, yeah.
They will do that for you. You don't even have to see the guy.
Yeah.
It's just here's the pay for the food and all of that. And the transaction took a total of 5 minutes, and there he was without having to worry about it, hanging out and making his wife feel good. Joy ride for motorcycles, says Bob and Connie. Rico says they play Hamilton also in the PI same time frame as Daryl Hall's concert. Scooter version of Grab if you want an adventure on the roads of Manila. Look, I've been in vans, and it's been an adventure in the roads in Manila. I wish I could make it to that show, says Brad Wood. Well, things are coming back to life. The whole COVID thing is just about all done, as he said. It's busy. Things look like they're springing back. in terms of nightlife. Although I don't have, I can't tell you too much about nightlife because when I was there last, I was in BGC the entire time and was still kind of managing from afar. So, I'd maybe go to Tipsy Pig and get something to eat or a couple of other restaurants down the way and then head back to the B&B. So I didn't get to spend any time in the Party Central, if you will. Jenna Carol Sablon online. I got Steve Medrano. Glad to see young leaders from PAL. Back then, only the old people were sent outside the Philippines. Steve, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know. Everything is relative, especially when it comes to age. Because you know how Filipinos age, right? Asian don't raise it, right? I don't know. Sal could have been 100 years old. Deb Rages is watching the show. Good to see you there, Deb. She's got somebody coming in. I don't know if it's the appropriate time to talk about this, but this guy's like the Tony Hawk of guns, and he's going to be coming in for a Christmas time show. Let me see here. Why does PAL flight schedules and seating assignments always change before the scheduled flight? That, like I said, it actually happened to me, and for a good reason. They had an issue with parts for the engines, and so they were changing literally on the fly the configuration of the plane. So the plane that I went to Singapore on was not the same configuration as the one that I left on. It was a bigger plane, wider body, and it had a lot more areas there for that. And I got the word 3 or 4 times that there had been changes, not just to my seating, but to the schedule as well. But you got at least you got the app telling you so, and it's not a surprise when you get to the airport. You got the telephone numbers. What's that? Raspberry tax on sugar drinks, a nincompoop nanny state fundraising on the working middle class. Everything is already too expensive. Is there any proposition to banning sugar drinks on SNAP recipients by chance, or just another tax on people that pay for their food? There is a question, Raspberry. Thanks very much for bringing it up. Is this whole thing about taxing sugary drinks? It's going up for a public hearing, I think, day after tomorrow. I think Wednesday, and I'll get times and things like that. I'm not going to be able to make it, and I've given Roy Canat a sufficient round of trash talk on this because I think it's a dumb idea. I think it's a dumb idea, period. The fact that we are living now in a time where inflation on things that we need to live, to eat and drink, food, is up by 20%. This isn't me talking. I did not make up that number. It comes from a guy that is in the food business. And he's telling me about the pressures on the food costs and everything that they are doing in the restaurants to be able to keep those costs down. And boy, you want to talk about your losing battles. You get some places, they'll give you the menu on a QR code. Do you know why? It's not that because we want it to be touchless. It's none of that stuff. You know why? Because otherwise we'd be printing new menus about every 2 weeks. And you might be going some places where, maybe the air conditioning is not as cold. And that's because they got to keep it at a higher number to keep the electric bill down. Maybe there have been some significant changes in the costs of the gas that they use to cook. Yeah, I know.
Stop it already, man.
Okay, I'm just saying.
We're feeling that inflation for real.
Yeah, and so now everybody is feeling the pinch, whether you're eating at home or you're getting food or drinks or whatever from the store. And now they come out over it. Now I'm not going to say
true,
they.
Man.
I'm not going to say they. This is Roy's to own. He needs to own this. This is Roy's mistake that he gets to make, and nobody else is co-piloted on this bill that I'm aware of. But he needs to own this error because now, on top of all of the additional costs, now they want to put a tax on the sugary drinks because people are too fat? Well, wow. Is there a way that we can, instead of discouraging an activity, is there a way that we can encourage activities? Now, to his credit, I got to be fair on all points. To his credit, Roy and his team were hosted a water station at yesterday's 3.5-mile race. So they recognize, and I assume are encouraging then, people to take up healthier habits. Okay. Well, can I make another suggestion to you? You start hanging out with Richard and Manny and the guys over at the Guam Running Club, and support them every time there is a race. Use your influence among your many voters to get out there and participate in 5Ks. Walk, runs. You don't have to run a whole 5K. Nobody will make any noise if you are a full-grown adult participating in a 2K. Sometimes it's a mile. And for a lot of people, a mile that's such a long ways until you get your legs under you, until you get yourself back into some decent shape. I'm just saying, that's what we ought to be thinking about doing, is encouraging healthy behaviors and not discouraging activities. As I've said 1,000 times already, when even the guys in the diabetic associations say this is a bad idea, that should be your first clue. When they come back to you and say, yeah, this looks like something that we should endorse, but we're not going to, because people need sugar in their lives. People need to have a reward, a sugary drink for all of their hard work and effort. They were giving away Cokes and Sprites yesterday.
You're all the sugar I need, Ray.
Thank you, buddy. I took one. I took one. And I love Coca-Cola. Since I was a little kid. And it's in the refrigerator. And you know what I'm saving it for?
It's going to be there forever,
It's
man.
my reward. I'm saving it for when I'm out there doing some yard work or, hit the gym, the treadmill or whatever. That's how I'm going to reward myself. I would hate to have to pay more for that particular reward. 9:17 in the morning. Cousin Troy from Canada's on the line. Good morning, cuz.
Hi, good morning, Cousin Ray.
How was your weekend, man?
It was pretty good. How about yours?
Oh, God, it was forever. It was forever. Dodging load shedding on Friday, and I only got hit once. And then Saturday, coastal cleanup, went hiking with some buddies in the LFA capital of Guam, which is down in Pulantet, apparently. So I got bit by a lot of little fire ants out there. And then ran the 3.5K yesterday at the Micronesia Mall. So a busy weekend. Kept myself occupied.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, how about you?
Gym, church. I went to a birthday party. Yeah, that was it.
That was it? Sounds full. It sounds full enough. But now that it's time to go back to work, what do you suppose we're going to be concentrating on? I got to say how delighted I am that you picked up the story now, and it's not just Guam. It's not just Guam. It is now nationwide. Virtually everywhere there's an FBI office, they're looking into the crazy stories like the ones that we've got here, where you just got all of a sudden a bunch of Chinese spies walking around.
Well, I don't want to say Guam is the epicenter of it, but this region is sort of the epicenter. And the whole point of this New York Times article is that there is this gigantic buildup of spy networks by both China and the U.S. aimed at each other. And the whole reason for the buildup is that they don't know what each other wants to do, intends to do. So according to this New York Times article that was published yesterday, and it's actually at the top of their news, number one, the first thing they're looking for is what the Chinese are wondering what President Biden intends to do, and the Americans are wondering what does President Xi want to do, or what is he intending to do. And then the other part of the equation, the other important question for both parties is, what kind of military and technology capabilities do all of them have? Because this runs sort of the gamut of the intelligence community. It's not just what each government is going to do in terms of defense. It's not just about whether how bad China wants Taiwan and how bad the Americans want to defend Taiwan.
Well, there are questions about to what degree would nuclear weapons be threatened as a result of all of this.
And it's not just that. I mean, you're looking at a race for artificial intelligence superiority. There is the spy networks are using social media in a very big way. I was surprised to read this, especially LinkedIn. They are turning people in each other's countries to be spies for the other country. I mean, basically, to commit treason against each other's countries. There's even 2 sailors, and I don't know if they were on Guam or in any part of this world. Oh, San Diego, Johnny's saying San Diego. 2 sailors in San Diego who were charged by the Justice Department basically for treason. And they both pleaded not guilty. But it's sort of, this New York Times article is eye-opening, and it's pretty crazy. And then and in the second paragraph of the article, it talks about Guam and Hawaii. And so you kind of see just how important this part of the world is how important this Pacific Deterrence Initiative is, how important all of the activity that the Marines, the Navy, the FBI, they all have here on Guam and over in the CNMI.
There was an article written, and I cannot, off the top of my head, recall where it was published online, and it featured an interview, Q&A, with Governor Lulian Guerrero, and I should not be surprised, but I thought some of her comments on preparedness for Guam and the region were kind of on point. I thought she made a couple of lucid comments. I don't know if they were all hers or whether somebody wrote that on her behalf. But I thought, you know what? She's making, I thought, some pretty interesting points. Among them being, to what degree do we have any say about what goes on in the region? We don't sit at the same diplomatic tables as the other island nations in the North and the South Pacific. Those opportunities are taken up by the government of the United States of America. She also made a point about how few other state, leaders and politicians make regular trips to the Pentagon, as we generally do around here because of the nature of the military on Guam.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm glad that our governor is on it. That's really good.
It sounded like I said, somebody at Adelup put the right answers down on all the right questions. I was not disappointed with the response.
Well, she's also an intelligent woman. I mean, I'm glad she's on the same page as our government. But interestingly, one of the points that this article makes in the very beginning, this New York Times article, is that when the spy balloon took off from is it Xiamen Island or Hainan Island? From Hainan Island, and its targets were military bases on Guam and in Hawaii.
Correct.
And then it went adrift. It wasn't until...
Did it go adrift?
Over the continental United States that military generals told President Xi about it. President Xi didn't even know that his military launched this spy balloon, according to this New York Times article. And he was pissed, and there was like this whole reshuffling of his generals and military leaders, and even his foreign ministry chief, and they actually suspended the balloon program. So it's just so interesting, seeing this race for, is it a Cold War? It almost looks like it's a Cold War between China and the United States that hopefully doesn't develop into armed conflict.
Well, I don't know that is oversimplified. I think we're in the midst of something. I think maybe they're going to need to come up with another kind of name for it because they're still trading partners. They're still, there are still parts of their economy that have to live with our economy. But the degree to which they're able to control a variety of aspects of this relationship, using technology, spycraft, lawcraft, working with the United Nations, to advance their needs and making sure that our needs are kind of contained. I mean, I remember when that balloon story was floating around. Originally, I thought the response out of China wasn't, "Oh, we're so embarrassed. Oh my God, it got away from us," as much as it was, "Oh, and you're going to shoot it down? You don't shoot that down. That's sovereign property of the People's Republic of China. How dare you?"
So one of the things this New York Times article discusses is the fact that its travels in near space is outside all of these treaties, and so it's not like it was an actual incursion that abrogated any sort of treaty, but it was definitely, it was like. That's kind of.
But
like
I don't understand how this thing was as big as two buses side by side. I can't believe they just, quote, lost control of it.
Well, I mean, that's the Chinese position, right? And also, when China's response to Congress's joint unanimous resolution that condemned it was, "Hey, this is just propaganda from the Americans trying to contain the Chinese, trying to contain our country." This is a fascinating article. I don't know if you...
Is the one that's titled "Risky Hunt for Secrets, U.S. and China Expand Global Spy Operations"?
Yes.
It says I have to give them $1 a week for my first year.
It's worth it. You know,
That wasn't the answer I was looking for. I was waiting for the. I'll send you my PDF.
I am not going to break the law and announce it on the radio.
It's behind a dang paywall. I'll see if I can find another abstract of it somewhere else on the web. As I said, it's just interesting to me that people are starting to talk about this. Among most of the things that came in my Google alert for Guam, it was a number of these China stories. And I'm waiting for how much of these. And I don't know. I'm like you. I kind of give up on the media over the weekend, so I don't know whether this story played in the PDN first. Authorities foil attempt to illegally enter Guam by Brian Manabat for the Marianas Variety, and then the Saipan Tribune with another story.
We broke that.
You did?
Story.
Okay, so Saipan Tribune with another story over the weekend from Ferdi de la Torre. Westerman deeply concerned about Chinese nationals illegally entering Guam from the CNMI. And it seems to me like everybody else is looking at this, and excluding present company. Where's the rest of the island media on all of this stuff?
I don't know, but it's an important discussion for me. You know, what's clear from the criminal complaint that the agent filed, the HSI agent. We have to be specific here, right? Because according to the New York Times, the American buildup of spy network there's this whole apparatus being built, and it involves the CIA, the FBI, and I can't remember the other one, but I don't think HSI was named. So in this recent September 14 arrest of 14, September 13 arrest of 14 Chinese nationals who had overstayed their parole authority in the CNMI, that was an HSI thing. So I don't know whether that is in any way associated with this whole spy thing, but because the complaint doesn't say that, I guess we could speculate. But what the complaint does say is that these men and women, I think that's important to note, believe that there are much higher paying jobs available on Guam for them, and that they could get those jobs, so much so that they would save up $3,000 a piece, which is not an easy thing to do in the CNMI if you are not allowed to be there, or if you
Yeah, but that's my first clue, bro. It's difficult to do that with the cost of living out here. Can you imagine what it is up there? And all of a sudden, you got a dozen people coming in with 3,000 folding dollars in their pocket, looking to hand it over to somebody to give them a short boat ride from Rota to Guam. And I'm thinking, well, it feels like maybe that money came out of somebody's pocket. And just said, try to get yourselves to Guam. And if you don't make it on this one, we'll find somebody else.
So that can be the speculation, but it's nowhere in the complaint. But the complaint says it's higher wages. And so there's something else that I think we have to be concerned about.
What happened to the ones that got not caught but, quote, rescued a couple of months ago by that multinational force that was here on the exercise?
So if you look at PACER, which is the place where you go to find all the federal documents, right, for the district court of the NMI, there are just so many Chinese names that it would take a very long time to go through all of that stuff. And so I don't know what that's probably a good idea is to go through the previous ones, but
if those are their real names. If those are the real names, if there's any other biometric capabilities to monitor them while they are guests of the Northern Mariana Islands, and apparently could be guests here on Guam because technically they didn't break any laws when they came here. Just something minor like not coming in through a port.
I don't know exactly how that is, but HSI has found that there was a violation of federal law when these 14 attempted to get to Guam. It was a whole sting operation. They got them into an HSI provided boat that they thought was part of the black trade. All 14 sat on the boat, and then they made the arrest. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is going to be an interesting conversation, and one that I don't think is going to go away. I do not believe that they are economic refugees, and if they end up being that, if we can prove that they are, I'll eat a bug.
Well, I think we've got to be concerned, even if they are, because that's remember the days when the feds and Guam Department of Labor were busting all of these illegal worker operations that were running sweatshops in the inhumane conditions that these people were living in. This is back in the late 90s.
But there's no industry there now like that.
The construction companies. These were construction companies. And then the fact that there were women, I think half of them were women, I don't think that they were going to be hired in an a construction company. I think this goes to our whole massage parlor industry, sex trade.
See, do I want to agree and disagree on this one? Maybe those are fronts to support all of the other work that they're doing on behalf of the People's Republic.
The Communist Party of China.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly worthy of the speculation.
Yeah. Just a thought. Just a thought. Cuz it's always fun talking with you.
You too.
Hope you have a
wonderful
fantastic.
day. God bless.
Well, you too. 888-8255-888-TALK. They're spies. And if they were construction workers or sweatshop workers or prostitutes before that, that's what they are now. That was the cover that they used. Because who's going to care?
Yeah,
But I don't
spies
know.
like us. Ray.
Spies like us. Well, there's a great movie. Studio time, 9:32. Ray Gibson Show continues after these.
People are saying the future looks uncertain.
Jobs, education, even our health.
Everything seems harder now.
They wonder if we're up to the challenges we're all facing.
We don't. We share in the proud history of our island and people.
We share the drive to serve and make life better for all of us.
We all share the will to overcome and succeed.
With part-time service in the Guam Army National Guard, you can share that too.
Join Guam's next greatest generation.
Contact us at 671-969-5967 or visit nationalguard.com/Guam to find out more.
Sponsored by the Guam Army National Guard and this station.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Are you tired of being limited by your current wireless plan? Live your life unlimited with GTA's Live Unlimited wireless plan. Unleash the power of unlimited data, talk, and text, and say goodbye to overage fees. Stream, browse, and connect all without worrying about limits. With our typhoon-proven network, you'll experience crystal clear calls and reliable data connections wherever you go. Switch to GTA today and enjoy the freedom you deserve. And live your life unlimited. GTA, we start with you.
You know what's going to suck? What's going to happen is it's going to come down to bullets. Things will be exploding all around us, and it's going to be the guys pulling the triggers are the ones that came off all of these boats. And I'm going to be the one. I told you.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? I told you they're the ones.
You're going to be our militia
They're the ones that are going to poison the water. They're the ones that are going to knock off the power. All of that kind of thing. Make your internet go away forever. And everybody's going to say, well, who could have seen that coming? Anyway, 9:34. On screen, speaking of the internet, thanks very much, Keith. Meme Machine, Plain Boy. Not Playboy, Plain Boy. The Playboy is in the picture. It is Laura Boebert's date in a dark theater. She had apparently already been vaping in there. Oh, my God. The sin. And took advantage of the darkness, and he reached over, and looks like he gave certain body parts a squeeze there. You know what he was looking for? Her gun.
Oh, yeah.
He was looking for her gun. She's a big 2A advocate.
And patting her down.
I think so.
For safety.
I think so. And so now they're trying to cancel her. But here's the craziest thing. Laura Boebert in the dark theater, and we've got nothing but footage on this for days. White House, when somebody brings in cocaine, nothing. Epstein's jail cell, nothing. Nothing. And now, I'll tell you right now to be prepared for it, Russell Brand. There will be all kinds of new Russell Brand allegations and stories as they try to discredit a man who I thought did an outstanding job discrediting now many of the institutions that I think might have been mistaken in putting a lot of trust in, especially when it came to COVID-19. 9:35 in the morning. Speaking of institutions, and I don't know how to take this, Joe. I've received a request from the judiciary of Guam.
Oh, boy.
Would it be possible to have presiding Judge Lamorena on your show to talk about Jewelry Appreciation Week?
What? He's not going to come here. If he does, Ray, I'm going to have to recuse myself.
I don't know. You know, after the hell that I had to go through for my 6 months, I don't know if I could do that. This was not the most convenient thing in the whole wide world. It cost me money. And to which I was compensated $35 whole a day.
Oh, my God.
Whether I was there for 20 minutes in the morning or whether I was there until sunset. Yeah. Oh, boy. So I...
enriched yourself, Ray. I knew it.
You know, I made new friends. People that I would have never, ever, ever had the opportunity, I think, to interact with prior to jury duty. And to be honest with you, though, I have not interacted with any of them since jury duty ended in February. I have not had the opportunity then to hang out with these guys. We're all everybody. We knew what each other's lives
have
were
a
about.
reunion, Ray.
No,
Reunion.
I'm afraid if we have a reunion, they might say, okay, report back on Thursday morning at 8. Anyway, 9:37 in the morning, and somebody that knows China, Dr. Ron McNinch joining me now. Good morning, Doc. How you doing?
Hey, have a day, Ray. Have a day, Guam.
They're spies.
Cousin Ray, it's been a while since you, me, and Cousin Troy have talked about China, and it's a great topic. But I want to mention something really quickly about juries. Guam should switch, and by the way, being on a jury is the most power the average citizen will ever have in their lifetime.
They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that.
true.
They need to tell you that. They're on because otherwise it sounds like you're here to listen, we're here to talk, but you don't realize, and I wasn't told this until just before my time as a juror was up, but there was no reason why I couldn't stand up and in a loud voice proclaim to the representative of the Attorney General's office, I am a member of the grand jury and I would like us to conduct an investigation into blank.
Exactly.
They don't tell you that. They need to tell you that.
Right. And even for juries, the average jury trial, it's immense power for the average citizen. And the key problem that Guam has is the jury selection system is not fitted for our size community. We should have a one-day, one-trial system. You go in, if you're not selected on the first day, that's it, you're done. You're off the list until your number comes up again. It's not this forever, you're on hold, you're sitting around waiting for things to happen on end. You either get a trial or you go home and then they pick somebody else later on. And that's how a lot of jurisdictions use for jury selection. That's what we should do for regular juries, petite juries, not grand juries. Grand juries are a bit different. But I'm talking about for the regular trial juries, one day, one trial. And don't put people on these endless lists forever. That's what the aggravating point is it becomes a real headache for the average person because it puts their life in suspense for a couple of years sometimes.
Yeah. Fortunately, if you sit on the grand jury and you have to travel for work, or if you just have to travel, you bought tickets already and you're going somewhere, the judge, they've got extra people to fill in. It's not like, you're one of 12. And if you're not there, then we can't proceed. There are 23, 24 people in my jury pool, so that if I wasn't there and I had a pretty good reason not to be there, they just said, well, okay, we got one less vote in the pools for in the elections for a true bill or not. But like I said, they don't tell you the nature of the power that you have, and I think there would be more investigations and inquiries coming out of grand juries if the juror themselves knew they could ask those questions, that they could set up their investigations as a grand jury. It's not always something that I was going to say his name, but I'm not going to, that the guy from the Attorney General's office is going to bring. Otherwise, you're just sitting there, wasting everybody's time listening to testimony that for the most part is going to get that ham sandwich indicted.
Incredible. And by the way, Cousin Troy is doing some of the best journalism on Guam. What a real, I'm so proud of him.
As we all are.
real stories.
As we all are, digging deeper where he can, and I think a lot of that comes from people's trust in Troy. Number one, that he can keep a secret, and they're comfortable leaking things to him, and number two, that the things that they send to him that they find interesting, he's likely to find interesting as well. At any rate, there's quite a lot to go on. I was kind of hoping that there would be some kind of closure last week in the hearing that they had with Dan Summerfleck, the Attorney General's office, and apparently every principal in the Department of Education that came down to scowl at the witnesses. I guess we're going to have to wait out the anointing of a new judge in that case before we find out whether any of Doug Moylan's plans, as outlined in the trial memo, can come to some kind of fruition.
Yeah, and the Attorney General, this is public record, did suggest, because these are special needs students in this particular case, that mediation, getting these kids the immediate help they need, should be the priority, and I think everyone's committed to that. And so that's I can just say from the board standpoint, of course, everyone wants to address these issues deliberately as possible. But hey, let's talk.
And why not? And why not? But one last thing on the board, the front page of the newspaper also making a big deal about the fact that federal education officials were here in town and I think are just about ready to let us out from under the third-party fiduciary arrangement for good.
Yeah, and we should learn a lesson from these third-party arrangements, where our government needs to learn how to take problems seriously before it festers to the point of like a receivership, and that's the lesson. Whether it's the dump that got put into that zone or whether it's certain aspects of education, we need to be smarter than that.
Well, yep, but it's always nice when you've got a judge, federal district court, telling you that you're going to do it this way. When you've got a receiver or a third-party fiduciary agent that has got that kind of power wielded in one hand and has access to the money. You'll recall that was one of the big deals that they had to do early on in the receiver process was to ensure that all of these things that needed to get done over at the dump, we could fund. And where did they get the money from? From sweet Section 30.
Right, and to be blunt, if you have a judge doing that, that means your local leadership has failed.
Well, I don't know that there would be anybody that would have denied that. That was pretty clear. I remember watching the number of times that these guys tried to wriggle their way out of situations that the receiver had put them into, and he just kept going back to the judge, and the judge would just say, "No, you're doing it." Right. You remember $1 Million Mondays?
Right.
There it is. And if your memory only takes you back to that one thing, that's it. $1 Million Mondays was what that was called. And the judge said, "Oh, you're going to give me a hard time on this? I'll fine you $1 million every Monday until you feel that until you think you see things my way." And she won every single one of those battles. It was a once upon a time. 9:43 in the morning. Okay, you wanted to talk about China? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, lots of good points on China. But the thing is, everybody misstates the China issue from the outside in the context of Guam, because really it's an inside issue. And by the way, Troy mentioned a Cold War. Well, it's interesting. I think it's more of a love triangle and a hate triangle at the same time. China has a love-hate triangle relationship with us. And the love triangle, of course, is over Guam. Not Guam, but Taiwan, China, and the U.S. And we have this trade aspect that's the love part, and then military power, which is the hate part. And the key thing is everyone's worried about China missiles. China. No, that's not what the threat is. The threat's not even close to that at all. The real threat is food security and supply chain security for Guam. That's what the issue is. And nobody talks about that. That's really, of all the things that will shut Guam down for good, it's not, the fictitious nuclear, speculation people are doing, because China actually has a very healthy fear of nuclear, just as everybody else who has these weapons has. It's very clear the United States fears nuclear weapons, and so does nobody wants nuclear. But conventional wars in terms of shutting down critical infrastructure, as was mentioned before, and then particularly supply chain and food security. Everybody on Guam should have a 2-year supply of food that they rotate in and out. Every month you update and use what you have. That's what everyone should have, because that's where the real threat is. It's not, in some kind of, they're going to bomb whatever place and whatever. No, the real issue is critical supply chain stuff. And one other thing, look at how miserable everybody was with no smartphones. We need a radio system here again.
What kind of radio system? What are you on?
An AM. Have an AM backbone for emergency management here.
All right. I can tell you the nature of some communications that I have been engaged in, and to the degree that I've gotten any response back to anybody it changes depending on who I'm addressing. They put one of these into place in Maui. Because like many other American communities, AM radio is just unsustainable. There's not a lot of listenership left on the AM band. Unless you tell people that it's there, unless they actually go hunting for something. Our big problem isn't that it doesn't sound good on FM or anything like that. The big problem is FM is line of sight. And if you're on the other side of a big mountain, you might not be able to get the signal, as is the case with virtually every radio station on Guam and anything south of Mount Humuzangmanglo. It's a challenge. Because of the terrain. That challenge has always been there. But we believe that with a very, very small wattage solution, less than a few watts, we might be able to get some decent coverage depending on where we put the transmitter, and then it's just a question of getting a signal from somewhere to that transmitter point and letting everybody know that it's done. I would be happy to host such a site. I would be happy to operate such a site. And see to all of the programming needs of it. It'd be basically a carbon copy of everything that we do here right now, except in times of emergency, we would default to more JIC announcements, more opportunities. I mean, just doing the whole talk radio thing, both with a much stronger bend towards 24-hour news and information, as opposed to, well, I got enough people for the morning show, got enough people for an afternoon show, and that's it.
Right. I think just the critical information.
But AM is incredibly expensive. It requires a significant chunk of land. Anybody that's ever been over by Menengan's site knows this. Anybody that drives through in Ordot Telempago, the Salan Teleforo, where KUAM was. Hell, I worked there for 5 years. Once upon a time, it's a sprawling property.
I think that these kinds of conversations really matter. I think about them, the better. And
it needs to come with money. Frankly, it needs to come with money. And I know what it takes to operate this place. I know what it takes to keep things going and keep at least one radio station on the air in times of inclement weather and hard as hell recovery. That's something that's kind of built into the DNA of this organization. So we kind of know what we're doing there. But when it comes to operating a radio station that people may only need whenever they got to turn on a generator, well, that's going to cost money. As I said, AM transmitters are power hungry, and you need a lot of property to hold up the ground and all of the cables that you need to keep those big towers up.
We need to get you an AM radio system with a micro reactor right there near your office.
There's the nuclear conversation. Be happy to get into one of those. 9:49. I got to run. I'll see you pretty soon.
Most of the Chinese are here for economics. We'll talk those in the future too.
Yep. Well, they got to eat while they're waiting for the signal to come in on a shortwave path from China.
All right, man. We'll talk again soon.
Shoot. 888-8255, 888-TALK. I don't know, what do they call that when you project what you think and know about life and customs and culture onto somebody else? It's like all these people in these sanctuary cities that now are inundated and bombarded
panicking over there.
Yeah, and they still call them immigrants. They're not they're illegal immigrants. They've stolen their way into our country under cover of night. And while the guy that they voted to keep an eye on the border is asleep at the wheel. And now all these guys are getting bussed. I mean, originally they were getting bussed to sanctuary cities by guys from like DeSantis and who's that guy from Texas. But now it looks like they're getting on federal buses, Biden paid for, and being dropped off all around the country. And you've got all these people in sanctuary cities that were virtue signaling about how these are people too, and we got to take care of our brothers and sisters. Just give us your cold old masses and all this other bleeding heart nonsense. And now they're there taking up resources that should have been given to citizens and people that lived in those cities first. Other homeless people, veterans, are being kicked out of places to make room for these migrants because they're the same as we are, aren't they? I don't know. Are you seeing the street battles? I was looking at something on Twitter just this morning where I think it's Chicago. And there's 2 or 3 guys with a machete attacking 2 or 3 other guys in the middle of the street, in the middle of broad daylight. And they don't stop even when the policeman comes up on them with his pistol out.
Typical Chicago day.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Anywhere else. But in this case, they've traded their projection. Thank you very much. They've traded their regular inner city thugs for a new wave of immigrant thugs. And I think that is going to be one of the things that people think about when they get on and start talking about moving, getting out of California. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? 9:52. Let me get this out here because it's in my head. There is a new, what they're referring to as a super region. And I've just gone through this story a couple of times. I've had it for maybe 2 weeks or so. And thinking about people that are leaving Guam now permanently, go live somewhere else. Where are you going to go? Maybe you got cousins up in Washington. It's already crowded in Washington, and my recollection is it's not cheap there. California. Yeah, you got cousins that live there, but you have to live in the same state as Gavin Newsom. And all of these other new arrivals, the illegal immigrants that are coming in that you're going to have to be competing for jobs. But don't dare say anything like that, otherwise you're going to be branded and maybe canceled. Northwest Arkansas, including Bentonville, Fayetteville, Rogers, and Springdale, is the 15th fastest growing area in the United States, on pace to hit nearly 1 million residents in 2045. So what they're saying is they're not there now. It's not that crowded. More than double today's side and close to the population of Austin. Bentonville in the rustic Ozarks and the headquarters of Walmart boasts a world-class art museum, a flight school, culinary center, and they're getting a Cleveland clinic and med school. It's a test market for drones and driverless trucks, home to burgeoning advanced mobility and holistic health industries, so hippies will like it, and a booming entrepreneurship hub. Wall Street Journal, in fact, crowned Bentonville a new capital of cool, a surprising hotspot for delicious food and innovative arts. Bentonville's growth has been driven by the Walmart magnate, by intensive involvement and investment by the Walton family members who live there and are focusing their money and power to conjure America's great metropolis. In the first part of this new century, Walmart suppliers, including Procter & Gamble, Ghirardelli, and PepsiCo, began locating teams near their largest customer. The area was dubbed Vendorville. Walton Family Foundation, based in Bentonville, is an unofficial incubator accelerator that has poured billions into this grand experiment. There were, if I understood it right, if you wanted to sell to Walmart, you had to live there. You couldn't, it wasn't one of the, they didn't want to pick up a phone and talk to another time zone. They wanted to talk to somebody on the ground right now in the village that was able to, just drive over and sort out the problems. A little bit more on this story. Bentonville, the mountain bike capital of the world, Real Joe, aims to rival Silicon Valley with its intersection of innovative commerce and an enviable quality of life. The world's largest company by revenue is building a new 350-acre campus of the future for their 15,000 employees that work right there. They're hoping a modern, amenity-laden workplace will help attract and retain top talent.
Sounds pretty good, Ray.
The overarching idea is to simplify living and working by boosting walkability and bikeability with easier access to food, exercise, fresh air, and childcare. Let me repeat this, because it seems to me this is something that we could use a lot more of here. The overarching idea is to simplify living and working by boosting walkability and bikeability, easier access to food, exercise, fresh air, and childcare. You think about pedestrian and bike paths that we have here on Guam, and just in the last 2-3 months, how many people do you know that have been run over by cars? The new campus will include several office buildings and parking decks, a hotel, childcare center, fitness center, and outdoor spaces, plus restaurants, stores. Everything will be open to the public, as well as the Walmart employees. The childcare, fitness center, and hotel open next year. Employees will be relocating to their new offices in 2025.
Is there a Chick-fil-A there, Ray?
I'm sure there's a Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
I don't know. Here, I guess the point that I want to make here is I don't want anybody leaving. But why can't we build and think about building along those lines here? Is it possible? You know, do we just need the imagination? Do we just need the leadership? Do we need the inspiration? I mean, we'll have a Walmart here. Got Kmart, but they're not a headquarter around here. Maybe there's more that can be done with relationships with blossoming businesses like the Don Donkey guy. Maybe there's more of that. I don't know. You can give me your thoughts if you want to. Did I end up doing that Nissan ad? You don't remember?
I don't.
Let me just do another one just real quick. Well, I'm just thinking about those guys. I got the Frontier. There's plenty of other incredible rides that you can select from. Go to NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web and just take a tour around and take a look at the new stuff that they've got for you. Oh, and don't forget they've got used cars as well. And if you've got a used car, maybe you got the ride that you like, but you never got rid of the second car. Get rid of the second car. Take it over to Nissan, 32-point inspection. They'll take a look at it and turn that into somebody else's new ride and put some money in your pocket. Nissan will pay top dollar. You want details? NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. Studio time 9:57, and who's there? Johnny Utah on the line. He's going to tell me about cheap gasoline. And
$20 power bill.
$20, yeah, that guy. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, what you were describing there with Bentonville, Arkansas, is a 15-minute city.
Is it?
Yeah.
On purpose? Like the bad 15-minute city, or is it a good 15-minute city?
Bad. But
why?
They're not calling it a 15-minute city anymore. If you look up Cleveland, Ohio, they're already imposing a 15-minute city in three of the neighborhoods that are pretty much abandoned.
But I didn't say anything in the article I read about making it so that you never leave, making it so that everything that you need is here.
They're not going to do that. They're going to gradually introduce the ideas. They're doing it in Cleveland, Ohio, right now as we speak. They've changed the verbiage. You know how it is with the.
Oh yeah, they own the language. Yeah.
They don't want to even be near the phrase 15-minute city because everybody already knows what that means. But that's what you're describing there in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Are they going to make people wear the same clothes? What was it? What's his name came out the other day? Soros came out. Says the guy from the WEF would give you we're going to make it so you don't eat meat anymore, and then we're not going to let you have any more than 3 different outfits for the year.
But hey, we just came back from Florida, and I'll tell you what, all the leftist media about Florida is asinine. We love Florida. Both my wife and my side. My mom is there, and a lot of her family are there. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, Florida is a great state, and we're actually considering moving there.
All right. Well, we'll continue the conversation. Unfortunately, I got Fox News ahead of me. I've skipped it twice today, so I think I better get to it now. Have a great day, and keep an eye on Russell Brand. We got to support that guy. All right, 10, here's the news.
President Biden is now dealing with the auto strike, inflation, and the indictment of his son Hunter. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson has more from the White House.
Days after launching the impeachment inquiry, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told Sunday Morning Futures he wants to talk to President Biden's son.
Hunter Biden will get subpoenaed, but when's the appropriate time? Do you do it because television wants it, or do you do it around the facts and the timing? When Comer, I think we should have the bank statements to actually know where did the money go.
The president ignored questions from reporters about the strike. Now, earlier, the United Auto Workers president, who endorsed Biden in 2020, but is now the only major union in the country that has yet to endorse him for re-election.
Food prices are up about 20% since President Biden took office. Former